Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. How the heck are you? Yes, I am indeed Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady. This is Coffee with Lavender, and we're having a wonderful discussion about cats and favorite music in the green room. So, yeah, things are winding up and everything, and all right, it's what I might call Super Sunday, but when I was looking for references to Super Sunday, I found a couple of things that happened to, they looked ethnocentric in certain ways, and I didn't want to be accused of cultural appropriation or anything like that. So we have.
If people start doing that, it's like, they like you. If you tell them to fuck off, you're basically slapping in the face people who could totally be your allies.
There you go. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, was the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. How are you, dear?
Claws.
I'm waking up more than I usually am for your shows. So
Okay,
yay.
now we're getting there. What am I actually changing your circadian rhythm? Is that it?
I don't know because I don't. I think it's Columbia, to be honest, because she decides when I get up.
Okay,
And she
okay,
may have been starting to let me sleep in. I don't know. And we're
okay,
also
okay.
like coming up on daylight savings time, and that might affect it too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, wait a minute. Let me have the look
The
at
fourth.
this. The
It,
Or
okay.
no.
the fourth,
No,
I thought it was the third.
it would.
Ouch! Ow!
I am going to look for this. What the heck
Smudge.
is going on over there? Is somebody getting attacked? For the love of
No,
sake, Gulick.
Smudge launched himself off my shoulder and sunk his all four of his feet into my breast as he launched himself.
Well, Columbia has done that many times. And she, like, number one,
Oh.
unerring nipple aim with this kitty.
Well, no, he
Ow! Ow!
But
Ow!
number two, like she will launch herself off of my tits full
Mhm.
force with claws out.
Yes.
In case, oh, Mom,
So,
I have a joke now. I just got a
Oh,
joke. In
tornado.
case of a heart attack, your cat can be used as a defibrillator.
meh,
Okay.
meh.
And by the
Tornado,
way, it's
bring me my pills.
it's next week, guys. 8 March
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
daylight
I was
savings
close.
time. Yeah,
Eight.
it's
For some
always.
reason, I thought it was the third. You know what?
I
Maybe
need
I'm
all of
thinking
them.
Super Tuesday, actually.
Yeah, the daylight saving on and off. It's always on a Sunday, and I guess that is because most people
They
are
want to
in
give
those building
people.
are in those buildings comparing clothing, and then some of the others of us who some think they're a little more rational than others are sleeping in. Okay, so enough of that. What the hell was that? It sounded like
Time be more specific.
That was pills. It's clearly pills.
oh, it sounded like somebody
Yes.
was cracking an egg over someone else's head.
No,
No,
no.
she
I am.
said, Mom NATO said she was going to take pills, and then she started rattling. And speaking as someone who has to take a double wide buttload of pills, I know that sound.
Yeah, it's
So, are you like a walking pharmacy or something?
that's
Well,
my
I-
line, dear.
I was late getting up. I was late getting up. I admitted I was being lazy. I slept in and I haven't taken my pills. I only take them once a day, but I've got
Okay.
one specific one that I have to take my weekly dose of vitamin D.
Oh.
Oh my.
Yes. Yes,
No.
this is a nice green.
Is that the one
Yeah.
that you have to take with something else to aid the absorption, or how
The
the hell is that?
potassium. No, not that one, but I take a potassium pill, which I have to take with food.
Mm.
And I take an iron supplement because I'm anemic that I have to take with vitamin C. They want me to drink orange juice, but I can't drink orange juice. Orange juice.
Why? Orange juice is amazing.
Yes, it is.
It's amazing, but it gives me hideous acid reflux.
Ow, ow, ow,
Which is,
ow.
yeah, which is not fun. That's nasty.
So one of my pills, or one of my meds, comes in both swallowable, like oral, and also injectable.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
And for a few minutes there, I tried the injectables, and I don't really care for perforating myself. It hurts,
Yeah.
right? But I was kind of okay with it right up until they ran out of short needles.
And then they
They were-
decided a long needle.
and so, like at that point, it got so much scarier that I switched back to oral meds.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that one that you inject into the adipose tissue then, and then it's sort of like a time
not
release?
helping.
The
That's too much technical jargon.
adipose is the fat tissue.
Yeah.
Well, I was putting it into my thighs for whatever
Yeah.
that is worth.
That would be adipose tissue.
Okay, and then I was wondering if it was one of these. It would slowly release from the fat. Then
I could not tell
okay.
you. I honestly could not tell you. All I know is that I was okay with it as long as the needles were short.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to my physician about one of my meds, which is also available in oral and injectable, and the problem. The injectable seems a lot better because you don't go through the oral pathway and you don't go through that. They call it the first pass metabolism, where it breaks down in your digestive tract before it goes to work. But
And there's some that have layers where it's like it digests this layer and you get this much meds, and then it digests that layer and you get this much meds again.
That's how a lot of the time release things work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the darn thing with this particular medication is that there are supply problems, where the injectable form of this particular thing is not always easily obtainable. And what the hell? Somebody's pounding on my window. I'm not answering the door. Damn you!
It is difficult. I've noticed, like certain injectables are really hard to find. Heroin, for example, really. hard to find.
That's difficult to find. it is. Although some neighborhoods in which I lived, heroin was easier to find than paracetamol.
Yeah.
Do I even want to know what those two things are?
No.
Paracetamol.
Well, the paracetamol is aspirin.
It's Tylenol.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's from England.
Yeah, and
Injectable aspirin.
Well,
no,
about-
dear.
you want to talk about heroin? I'm a bit of a heroin addict. If you're looking here. Yeah, I love that joke.
Ow!
Tank Girl. I don't know who the
man,
second
do
one
I-
from the
do
left
I have
was.
to-
That was Samus Aran from Metroid. Was the second
Never
one?
heard of it.
And then you've never heard of Metroid?
Boo!
Ay. And then there was Princess Leia, Susan Ivanova, Wonder Woman, Xena, and Aeon Flux.
Susan Ivanova.
Babylon 5.
Do
Remember?
I
Okay.
do
okay.
I have to hang an on the air sign outside my living room window, for fuck's sake?
Yes.
Who the hell pounds on a window?
Well, okay,
Especially on a Sunday.
Well,
this
not
happens.
even Sunday. It's like usually people pound on doors. What could someone possibly want? That window.
They
Okay,
want,
they
they-
can't get into the apartment
they
to
want
pound
me
on
to.
her
They
door.
want me to let them in. There are people who claim that they don't have their key, or they lost their key, or this sort of thing, who want to get into the building, so they will pound on the window nearest the entry door. And okay, somebody's running a business here. Okay.
Oh, I see.
I don't know
They're
what
selling drugs.
I don't know what type of business, but somebody was running a brothel out of here a while back, and
They were what now?
there may or
A
may not
brothel.
be.
A whorehouse.
Yeah, a cat house, dear. There may or may not. there
I
may
thought
or
a
may.
cat house was where you sold cats.
No, dear, no.
No, no,
All kinds of not what's meant by cat house. Look it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
welcome
the
to
love
the
of
cat
St.
house. We
Kulik.
sell and adopt cats.
Yes, we get the joke.
Yes,
But
dear.
seriously, if you
Introduce
don't
me.
if you don't know what a cat house is, look it up.
Did you realize, Diana, you completely skipped over introducing me?
That's because
Um,
I'm awesome and you don't matter.
Yes,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
yes I
Oh,
did.
okay.
I am so sorry. Oh my word! Somebody shoot me. Yes,
Bang.
we do have with us the dear, the wonderful Mom NATO here, and her wonderful spawn over in the
Yes,
back
that
there.
everybody missed seeing. Now, was it them who they were all asking to see him?
I was the one
I
who was
don't know.
curious.
Yeah, I
don't
know
Oh,
about
you
okay.
the rest
wanted to
of the
see it.
crowd.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
I
I'm
don't-
gonna have to mute.
I mean, the thing is, like I was saying, I'm pretty sure it was before we started, that you can get a mental image of what someone looks like based on their voice. And it's
Right.
usually wrong. I did
Right.
not expect Tornado to look like that.
Oh, what were you
Yeah.
expecting?
I was expecting him to be a little bit stockier.
Oh, no, he is
A
very
beanpole,
skinny.
yes.
Yes, I've told everybody that. They all think I'm kidding.
Well, I
Yeah,
must
he's
have
a
missed
fucking
it when you said
beanpole.
that because I was
God.
seriously picturing. I'm trying to think of someone. Okay, this is going to be horrible. But have you
Uh-huh.
seen Breaking Bad?
I think
I'll
so.
find a picture of the dude.
Well, no, I have to remember which one that is.
I'm trying to remember the guy's actual name now, or like either the name of the actor or the character. I'm totally spacing, but he's the one who was in like the FBI or some shit, the brother-in-law. I was picturing like that, only younger.
Oh,
Heisenberg.
okay.
The one that did surprise me, and I did mention this off the air, is the rodent incisors going on there. That whole are we into the bucktooth arrangement here already, or no?
Oh, stop it.
I did not see buck teeth.
Okay.
Oh, yes, he's got terrible buck teeth.
Oh, shut up!
And
Hey,
the incisors were very. Yeah. Would
child,
you be nice? Okay. Really?
you really need to mellow out.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, I
get
do
it.
have an off switch on
been in
your feed there, kid.
I mean, I've been in that situation where someone says something extraordinarily unflattering or insulting or whatever. And, I won't say I've lost it, but I have told some people to jam it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that I get it.
Well, I
Well,
will
I get
say,
it, but that doesn't mean he needs to tell me to shut up.
I will
guess.
say
I don't
that
know.
there was a point at which I did kind of lose it with the MSB, and that was really what sealed the deal. Because I got a call from my cousin, the one with the puppy mill, but we won't go into that yet. And her mother had died, and this was his sister. And I had already come out, so they'd given me all kinds of problems with this. On the
Right.
phone, hi, Dad. I know I'm probably not the person you want to talk to right now. Into it. It's like, you have to broadcast everything. And I lost it. Okay, I admit it. I said, shut the fuck up. Your sister died. Oh, okay. Slam. That was the last he ever talked to me. And God, it's been so nice. 5 years he was alive and didn't say a word to me. It was beautiful. Oh, man.
Well,
Okay,
good
I-
produces bad fuck talk.
I figured out which character it was I was thinking of from Breaking Bad. It's Hank. I was kind of like picture this fellow here, only in his 20s.
Oh, my.
That is totally the mental image I got from Tornado's voice. Was
Yeah,
that.
because he's got a very deep voice, and I've got a very high pitched
No, I
voice.
don't.
No, he does not have a deep voice in any way,
well,
shape, or form.
I guess
You don't
not.
have. No, you don't.
I don't
have
hear it quite as
You
no.
you don't have a voice that sounds like you're making stuff up. okay?
No, he's got more of a tenor. He's got more of a high tenor,
not.
doesn't
Yeah,
he?
you're about a
But-
first tenor there, kid.
Yeah,
But
you are,
still,
Talon.
what I just showed, that's what I pictured.
No, God, no. He is
Well, I
so
mean, you should have
skinny.
seen the mental image I had of, for example, Prophet of Zod.
Okay, then.
Well, that's like everybody thinks that I'm younger than I am. Which, hey, cool.
Hey,
I'm pretty
yeah,
okay with it
it's
too.
not a bad little
But
thing to have happen to you.
Yeah.
actually,
But
if I can find a picture of his face, Prophet of Zod, I was kind of picturing Dark Matter 2525 for Prophet of Zod.
Okay.
Actually, come to think of it, I don't know, maybe from certain people's voices, the mental image I get is like a slightly stocky, bald white guy, because honestly, that describes Dark Matter 2525 as well.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. Oh, that's
okay.
like,
that's
like,
uh,
Yeah,
dark
yet
matter. Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
afraid
that's what I'm
mistake of a
saying.
kid.
It's like maybe that's just the default for my brain with a male voice. I don't know.
And I do
Well,
wonder
I
sometimes.
don't know what most people think about how my voice sounds, but I don't even recognize my own voice when I hear it on the videos after they've been taped, which I
You'll
find
get there.
interesting.
You'll get there.
Actually, hold
No,
on, hold on.
seriously, I used to hate my voice, my recorded
Mhm.
voice. Couldn't stand it at all. Uh, Going over the what's the word, the videos, as little as I do. Sometimes I go over them for stuff for the highlight reel and everything else. I'm becoming more accustomed to the sound of my own voice. So
Mm. Well,
Well,
the problem is that, like, the
it's
voice I hear in my ears and the voice I hear
Mhm.
when I play it back don't match.
right,
Exactly.
right, yeah. Yeah, it's that
Yeah,
whole
but
resonance thing going on in the skull and all that other happy stuff.
Mhm.
And
I have to take back what I said earlier because I don't always picture that stocky bald dude. When I listen to someone, no. When I listen to someone like Viced Rhino, the mental image I get in my head is more like Alan from Tron. If you see that image,
Mhm.
that's what I
Yeah,
picture in
Bruce
my head
Boxleitner.
when yeah, but specifically in Tron because he actually gets a lot stockier for Babylon 5.
Yes.
Like when I hear Dark Matter 25 or sorry, not Dark Matter, Vice Rhino speaking, I get that mental image instead.
Mhm.
oh,
No.
and speaking of him, it was an interesting story that I just picked up. I did not know where he got his name until
Oh,
somewhere on Twitter. He had mentioned that it's an anagram of
No, Smudge
Eric
is
Hovind.
going. Yeah, Smudge is going absolutely bonkers playing with something on my bedroom floor. And he's spinning in circles and pouncing. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I think Vice Rhino is a lot better than Eric Hovind.
how
well,
did he get
everyone is well, not everyone, but nearly
Vice
everyone's
Rhino?
better than Eric Hovind.
Right. I mean, there are people worse than Eric Hovind, and I'm
I mean, as
wondering
far as a
if
niche goes.
one of the people who hangs around the White House may or may not be worse than he is.
No, I meant as far as
Oh,
names being
jeez.
Vice Rhino.
Oh, merciful Zeus. Ugh. You know how S.J. Thomason found me?
Oh, I was going to bring that up, so let's bring
What?
that up. Yes, let's
Yeah,
go
S.J.
into
Thomason.
Who's
S.J.
that?
Thomason commented on one of my videos,
Who's
and I was totally shocked. Oh, she's like this fundy sort of
oh
mom type
Yeah,
that,
she's an
that doesn't
armchair
fit.
apologist, basically. She thinks she knows
Yeah,
everything there
Armchair
is.
and
apologist.
and
Mhm.
apparently she has teamed up with G-Man, and they're planning.
Oh no, not
and
him!
they are and they are planning a response to that video. And I just got a comment from G-Man says, "I almost feel bad for you, BD. The response you're gonna get will hurt." And I say "you're" like that because it was not
It was
you
not the
apostrophe re.
contraction. Yeah, uh huh.
Um,
Mhm.
wait, hold on. I take it back. I may have misread this simply because I'm used to saying things properly. He said the response you're gonna get. Well, never mind. But point being that yeah, he just decided to trash talk on my vid.
Oh,
Mm.
Jesus.
So
It's like,
is he pulling an argumentum ad baculum?
He's not making an argument.
He's
He's
just
just tossing
being
insults,
snotty.
basically. He's an
Yeah.
he's an
Oh,
idiot.
well,
Yeah.
that's the stock in trade. And G-Man had. I'm assuming it was a crush the way he went at it. He was obsessed with me for like 2 years. He kept trying to get me on his show, kept trying to get me to debate him, this, that, and the other thing. And I was like the only weapon I really had against him, I refused to acknowledge his existence whatsoever. And
That's
it
the way to
drove
handle
him
him.
up the freaking wall for 2 years. It drove him up the wall until he finally got over this obsession with me. And
Mhm.
I mentioned this about G-Man on Twitter with S.J. Thomason, and she was like, "Oh, come on! I'm old enough to know that not everything's a crush." And I'm like,
Yeah, I
"Dude,
saw that.
the way he went at it, I don't know what else it could have been. Because you don't pursue someone for 2 years trying to get their attention if there isn't more going on than just I want to debate you. You don't.
Yeah.
It reminds
So,
me a bit of the way Steve McRae was with me.
oh,
For the longest time, I thought he had a crush on me, and happily, he's faded into the woodwork as far as interaction with me goes, so that's okay. No
Steve
big
McRae
problem.
is such a butt munch.
Hey,
He is. Steve McRae is an asshole.
Oh, goodness. Oh my.
Oh my, yeah, indeed.
let's not get into sort of non sequitur issues, please.
That
Why
was a
would that be
really,
non
really
sequitur?
bad pun.
No.
I wasn't trying to make a pun.
Yes, but he was on the non sequitur show, and
Exactly. I'm saying we don't want to get into that.
yes.
Well,
yes,
no,
we
we're
got
not
the
going to
joke.
get
It's
into
not
that. He could go
that funny.
stuff his.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like it's
no,
it's
I mean,
my
okay,
legacy
okay.
for my daughter, and it's
You
like,
know-
shut up, Clarion.
The whole debate about whether or not babies are atheists. Well,
Oh,
he is
Lord.
very much on the other side of it.
Ah,
And here's
Oh, my
his
God.
reasoning. He keeps saying it's not useful to describe babies as atheists. And what I've come to realize is that people who are on that side of the argument, the it's like incoherent to call babies atheists, they can't decide, blah 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 blah, are people who tend to have like ivory tower debates with people. That they're the sort who think atheism has to be a deliberately taken position. They never say why, but from inference, I've come to realize it's because they want to have formal debates with people who take positions. Whereas on my side of it, I'm doing more of like a religious taxonomy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get you.
where it's like I am describing things rather than defining positions in an argument. And in that way, describing babies as atheists is completely useful because you can say, okay, here's this umbrella of everything in the universe that is not a theist, right? Every bit of the universe that doesn't believe, you can draw a circle around that and then draw a smaller circle around everything that's religious, because let's face it, much smaller than the rest of the universe. And then within that bubble of non-believers, you can have the positive atheist, the negative atheist, the strong atheist, the weak atheist, the agnostic atheist, the gnostic atheist, the epistivist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It would be really hard to draw that diagram just because of all the overlap. But even so, in that way, like describing babies as atheists is completely useful. But because of the radically different paradigms between the debaters and the taxonomists, you have this like, well, they can't make the paradigm shift to understand why babies should be described as atheists.
Because they lack belief in a god.
Oh,
Well, yeah, but they think that's not good enough. And,
Okay,
and
babies don't have any belief at all in anything because their minds are too young to have developed that by watching and learning.
and therefore the number of gods they believe in is zero. Therefore,
Exactly,
they are
atheists. Yeah.
But
My
some
mom thought
people really,
atheists
really,
meant-
really hate that, and Steve McRae is one of them.
Yeah, it's what am I after here? I am a scientist. Well, not for a living, unfortunately, but I do kind of like the what's the word I'm looking for in language?
Wish I
The
could be a
the, the,
scientist
the,
for a
the
living.
specific language where you have specific terms for specific things.
Pedantic?
Say again, hon.
Pedantic?
Well, that too. I mean, I do like that to some extent.
Hmm.
But I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go all McRae on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's room for both, really. When you get somebody like McRae or like his crowd who wants a specific term to mean only one thing, and then every concept has to have a term that is
Yes.
associated one to one with that, that gets to be a little cumbersome. It does.
Oh boy, does it ever. I
Mhm.
mean, and I've noticed that too, the people who need one word to mean one thing and modifying it with adjectives doesn't even occur to them.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
break it down more finely, they do not like that system for some reason. I don't understand it.
Now
I like that system. Like,
Oh,
you
hi,
have-
hi, Adelinda. I
Mm.
wish sometimes that there were a separation of terms in regard to faith, because so many
Well,
people misuse that term, and of course, the people who misuse it are theists, of course,
well,
because they
mean,
want uh, my faith in the floor, that it won't fall out from under me, to be equivalent to their faith in their imaginary friend. Please excuse me, Tina, but
yeah.
It's okay.
Well, pointing out the differences between the kinds of faith is
Mm-hmm.
something where a lot of theists don't argue in good faith.
hi, Journey,
Because when you
hi.
Right.
Because when I point out that I have confidence in something like the floor not falling out from under me, it's because of experiences with architecture and all of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
point
yeah,
out
yeah.
like where are the experiences of God existing,
Yeah.
and they cannot they cannot give examples that aren't in their own heads.
Right. The most logical fallback for them is, well, you have to take it on faith. But if you don't believe, then you don't have you don't have the faith that they feel you should have. And they try to force religion on people, and it
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
and
work.
And
Well,
Kent
the-
Hovind
the-
actually did
Oh,
something
Godless
similar.
Journey. Is that one naked?
Not
In the
anymore.
chat?
Not
No.
anymore.
Okay.
Oh,
But what
I
I-
love Journey. He's a dear. He's a absolute
And
sweetie.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, like I've had a lot of them say, "Why do you think our faith is blind faith?" And a
Well,
lot of
don't get me started.
and
Yeah.
a lot of them have said, like, I'm telling you it's not blind faith. Why do you keep insisting? And I'm like, because I see what you do and what you don't do is why.
Yes, yes.
And when I look at what you're doing and what you even say you're doing,
Hmm.
the term that you're using for it and what I've observed don't match.
Yeah, I could tell
Right.
you that I'm wearing a red shirt, but you look at me and that's not red.
Right.
Well,
Well,
my shirt's slightly red-ish.
Some people who believe have had personal experiences that they can't
Okay.
that it now
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish. Definitely.
it's not something that quantifies as necessarily something that can be shared physically
And
or
that's the problem.
There's
right,
where I was
exactly, and
headed.
I
Yes.
understand that.
I will not deny
Now-
them their experience. I cannot. They
Right.
had the experience. Yeah.
Right. But whether it was something in their brains triggering, whether it was something that a combination of factors that came from outside, I'm one of those people who had a personal experience, but I can't share that with everybody because
Technically,
it's
you
not
could.
something that can be repeated.
Well,
Well, I mean,
technically, you
that's
could.
part of
It's
the
got a video
problem.
of
I mean,
those people
I've had
doing
some experiences that I might describe as, let's say, paranormal.
Were you on
Right.
acid at the time?
That I never. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, okay, a couple of days ago, I did a little bit too much Alien OG at one time. That's a breed. It's a hybrid weed, is what it is.
Okay.
And so I went to go lie down, and honestly felt like I had melted into a puddle on the bed.
Oh my. Okay.
Genuinely had that physical sensation,
Uh-huh.
and I know it's bullshit, right?
Right.
So the fact that some people have had experiences of God doesn't mean that it wasn't all in their own head, that it wasn't
Right.
all.
Right. Yeah. That's the
Well,
thing.
but see, I don't
Well, but
I
we
don't
have no way
smoke,
to
I don't
go.
do drugs, I don't
Now,
do weed,
Well, no,
Even
and I
but there
still
are
have the
other
experience.
there are
so.
other ways to have the experience. There really
Right.
are. I mean, for
Yeah.
example, are you familiar with third man syndrome?
no.
If I think it was first described with an explorer in the Antarctic, absolutely alone, trudging across the tundra, mile after mile. If you get that one, you're very old. And he felt like
No.
someone was with him, even though there was nobody there, no one who could be there.
Right.
Now, he wasn't on any drugs. He wasn't stressed in any.
Why? Why isn't that second man syndrome?
Maybe it is.
Because no, it's considered third person's third man syndrome because it's outside of yourself.
Yes, but there's a second man.
Right. They
Here we
just
go.
consider third person as they don't have a second person view. They have a first person view and a third person.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
actually
but-
called third man factor. And
But I mean, that's the thing is like, it depends. Are you saying third person or are you saying second entity is present? It's two different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I don't even
if it's
know
not-
how to describe what happened to me, but you know, it's one of those weird things
Is
that.
this the issue with the Volkswagen?
Well, you know, when it's not
Whoa. Yeah.
testable and repeatable, that's where you start getting into problems.
Huh.
yeah, and don't even
No,
bring
the Volkswagen
Neffy
was
into the
something
room here
different.
with that.
The
Yeah.
Volkswagen was something different. I went off the road, slid on gravel in a 1971 Volkswagen Beetle, and I bounced down a 6-foot drop off and was about to hit a tree, and there was nothing. There was just straggly brush underneath me, and the car literally turned 90 degrees and landed in between the two trees that would have killed me.
Hey,
Well, that's not what you
nice.
want.
And when I should have been killed, and the person who was with me should have been killed by hitting that tree. Because we went down off one 6-foot drop off and then another 6-foot drop off, and the car turned on the second drop. And when they pulled the car out, the only thing I had done was loosen the wheel wells a little bit. There was no damage to the car. And
Literally, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, well, the underpinning of the car and the tubing in the Volkswagen, because that was and a Volkswagen that old has aluminum tubing that controls things like the oil and the hydraulic fluids and stuff for the brakes. I didn't damage any of that, and I should have.
Well, see, here's the problem though, is like you've probably seen this image before.
Let me
But-
bring that up here.
Basically,
Yeah.
we can't record miracles.
Right.
And as soon as we could record miracles, all of a sudden they dried up. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
leads one to suspect that they may well be fake.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but this
Yeah.
happened when I
Or
was
wishful thinking at the very
18.
least. Yeah.
19,
Well,
somewhere around there.
still, I mean, like there are freak accidents out there, and attributing them to something supernatural is at best premature.
Indeed. And well,
Oh
as
no,
I've
I
said,
understand that.
many times, if you attribute anything to miracles, the entire universe turns into chaos because anything can happen. Literally anything.
Well, and
Right.
you've heard my explanation for why free will is very unlikely to exist, yes?
Yes.
I think we discussed that last week.
Yeah. Basically, the only way for free will to exist is for magic to intervene in between, like our actions and our biology.
Okay, then.
And
Because
our head
because
meets.
if we live in a deterministic universe, as it appears we do, then everything you do, everything you think, everything is a product of the brain, which is subject to, biology, physics, all of that stuff. And so the only way for us to make a choice that we were not preordained to make is if magic could interfere, if the universe itself could somehow be bent, because otherwise we are doomed to make the choices that biology dictates. So, like every time I've heard someone argue for free will, they either have to change what the term means, or they have to believe in magic.
Yeah, now I'm one who does lean toward the free will argument at the moment, but I'm not yet able to precisely formulate why I believe that way. I'm working on it. I'm still having trouble getting there, and maybe the trouble I'm having getting there should point me to, it's not there. I don't know. I've got to work on that
Well,
one.
it sounds, I mean, because to me it feels like I have free will. It feels like it. But the objective data, the non-subjective data would suggest otherwise. That free will is an illusion.
I
And I
mean,
know there's a lot of people out there who find that extraordinarily unflattering. In fact, a lot of the objections, especially religious objections I've seen to a lot of things that are borne out by the evidence, is just they find it personally offensive. Like the idea, you hear the people, I didn't come from a monkey, I didn't come from an ape. I'm not an animal, I'm special because I'm human and God made me special, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
yes, Ray.
it's yeah.
Yeah, see,
You know what I mean? That's the thing is, again, with free will, and with the monkeys, it hits them in their pride is what it
see, the
does.
thing is, I'm weird. I believe
You
we
knew
came
that.
from apes. I am.
You don't believe you came from apes. You know you came from apes because the preponderance of
Tornado,
Well,
evidence.
yeah,
Tornado,
Honey,
if you yell,
we are
my
apes.
ear.
Okay, let's
Yes.
settle that right now.
But if he keeps yelling in my ears, I'm going to find the last of the duct tape and duct tape his mouth.
Oh boy, can we see it on camera?
But yeah, so I mean,
Why don't you go get my headset and use it
Hi,
off
Orla.
my computer? And that way you're not having to scream into the mic, please.
Oh my. Yeah, it's. I
but-
do like what Hitchens said.
I go on.
I do like what Hitchens has said. We have free will because we have no choice.
Nah.
Yep.
But I mean,
Okay.
how I just do not see a mechanism by which free will can work without being able to break reality.
I've
And
really
I'm
got to
looking
work on that one.
I'm looking at what Orla says here. People can change who they are by applying themselves or medication or therapy. Yes, but there would have to be a way to be able to do that without it being foreordained, without it being deterministic. It's like you get a lot of people objecting to the idea that we don't have free will, where they say, well, then why do we have a police force then? Why do we punish people for their behavior if they have no choice? And they seem to think that creating a police force, creating a justice system would be an exception, that it would be a choice. But if free will doesn't exist, then we have no choice but to create a justice system.
Yeah,
yes, Laura,
everything
it
becomes a not choice. Yeah, I can't think of a better term. And I know, for all I know, that may be it. I mean, the physicists of the late 19th century may be right. They may be right in saying that if we know the direction and velocity of every particle in the universe, we can predict the future. They may have had it there. I don't know.
Well,
And
I
yes,
mean,
Laura,
every
it
time I
was
bring
luck.
this up, I have never ever heard anyone describe the mechanism by which free will could exist ever.
Hmm.
Like
Well,
I bring up determinism like this, and nobody has actually attempted to counter it with anything
hmm
other than eloquent hand waving. And but it feels like I have free will. That's all I ever get.
Well,
hmm
in my head, I haven't quite firmed this one up yet, but what is entering my head meats, if you will, on this one is
Mhm.
a sort of probabilistic determinism. In other words, it operates under a set of rules, but the outcome is not guaranteed. You select from a set of outcomes. Now,
How?
that's what I'm working on. I still don't know exactly how one would frame that.
Well, that's what I mean
The
when I
last
say
time,
that no one's ever given me an answer. No one has ever been able to give me an alternative
hmm
to determinism ever.
Well,
the last time we talked about this, and I think it may have been last week, I was likening
hmm
it to a set of chemical reactions where
right, that would be our biology.
you have a set of outcomes that are more probable than the other outcomes. The nitration of toluene, for example, you get more nitration occurring at certain positions on the ring than you do at other positions. Maybe free will works that way. I don't know. I really
But
haven't
but
taken the time to really pound on it.
but I don't know anything. Okay, I don't know anything about this solution you're talking about. But could it ever have been any other way under exactly the same conditions?
I don't
Don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
Because like I always talk about usually like rolling dice. It seems random to us simply because we don't have the processing capability to predict how those little cubes will bounce off of something. But if you could always drop them from exactly the same height, where they're in exactly the same position in your hand, under exactly the same physical conditions, wind, whatever, air pressure, all of that, and just repeat everything exactly, you'll get exactly the same outcome. And just because of physics,
Yeah, and
so how is it that our brains are any other way?
that's a real hard one to test because okay, let's go with the dice. You drop a die and it may ever so slightly dent the surface it fell on, so that's going to affect
Well,
the next
that's why
drop.
I said exactly the same conditions.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
hmm
yeah. But by the way, thank you so much for not using dice as a singular.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know
a
that one.
die.
I know that. Yeah,
hmm
it's I can't
I
stand
want
it when
to
people
light
do that.
people on fire when they do that. I mean, seriously, like all of a sudden your face is very punchable when you do that.
Yes, absolutely.
hmm
Now I'm
Uh,
half tempted to try
and
to do it
I
just cause.
and
No.
I have a game night, and
Oh,
so there's a lot of people who do that, and I'm just like every time I cringe a little inside when they do it.
hmm
Yeah, it's okay. We'll take care, Laura. We love you dearly. Thank you for
bye,
coming
Laura.
by when you do.
Bye,
It's
Have
Laura.
wonderful to
fun.
have you.
Don't get
Okay.
caught.
There you go. What the heck was I just thinking? Oh, the plurals and stuff like that. The other one I
Yeah.
cannot stand is the the misformed plurals when you have an adjective at the end of a term, like brother-in-law, and people who are
No.
brother-in-laws. It's ah!
No, it's
Yeah.
brothers-in-law.
Yes,
Well, I mean, you have to admit it is an awkward phrasing.
yes, it is. Yeah.
It's kind of like if someone has to say like attorneys general,
Yeah.
because general is not a rank. It's you are a general attorney. You are an attorney who is general, not a general. You know what I'm saying? And it's so saying attorneys general is just awkward in English.
Yeah, it is.
No,
You know, it's
Maybe.
like when you get the proper grammar where it's like, who are you sending that package to? Makes so much more intuitive sense than to whom are you sending that package. But
Mm,
the one that's
okay.
intuitive is incorrect.
Meese is
yeah.
not the plural of mouse. Mice is the plural of mouse.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know why it's not mouses. It could totally be mouses and it wouldn't affect a damn thing.
Okay, now wait a minute. Is there a situation in which mouses is the plural of mouse? The thing we used to have next to
Mm-mm.
the keyboard with the cable coming off of it, which is why it was called a mouse. Are two of
Mhm.
those two mouses? Or are they
No,
two
I'm pretty sure
mice?
they're mice.
two
Okay,
I'm
okay,
pretty
mice.
sure
okay.
they're mice.
Okay.
I don't know
Right.
any situation in which mouses is grammatically correct.
The
Okay.
mouse's cord. It's a possessive.
Well, yes, but we're
Well,
talking
that,
for
yeah. Well, the one I
Yeah.
really like is an old Three Stooges thing where they were talking about the mommy goosesses and the daddy goosesses and the little baby goosesses. God, I love that. One of the very few
oh,
things I like about that show. Are
I don't know, for some reason now I'm remembering Abbott and Costello,
Oh
where
God.
Costello is trying to say Worcestershire sauce, and it keeps coming out Worcestershire sheer shosh.
okay. Now that one I'm going to
Yes.
have to look up. I don't
Worcestershire.
remember that one.
Well, my parents, when I was little, thought, "Oh, hey, Kate's totally gonna dig on this old comedy stuff," and so they bought me the album, the tape cassette of Abbott and Costello with the Who's on First sketch
Who's
in it,
on
and it had
first?
a lot
What's
of
on
other
second?
stuff, including the
Yeah.
Worcestershire sheer shosh
And of course,
sketch.
you have seen
It's
the
Worcestershire sauce.
you've seen
No, it's not. It's Worcestershire. Worcestershire, actually, if you're actually British, Worcestershire,
you've seen the
because it's
photo or the meme or whatever
Worcestershire
it is, right?
is how.
With who
What?
on
Mom just calls it Worcestershire sauce.
Yes, but that's wrong.
I do not. Worcestershire sauce.
Now,
Yeah,
I know there are some who say Worcester sauce, but
Well, I mean, the name is Worcestershire. Worcestershire. That is hard to pronounce, but
Worcestershire sauce.
no, actually, you don't really pronounce the R so much. Worcestershire.
That's what-
Worcester. Like, yeah.
Worcestershire.
Yes, there
okay,
you
here
go.
we go. The one I
Worcestershire
really,
sauce.
really, really, really like. Let's see if I can grab the URL to this thing.
I have to deliberately stop between Worcestershire and sauce in order, or they blend together. Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. This thing with the
Well?
long, 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 long URLs.
No. You know, like after a while, if you get to know your URLs, you can see bits you can truncate. You know, because there's a lot of like FBID equals because they want to know which Facebook post you got the link from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can totally delete that shit off the end of a URL.
I am going to
In
look at
fact,
that again.
just about anything that has an equals after it is something you can kill in a URL.
Well, the way this Google redirect is working, it looks like a lot of that is built into the CGI arguments,
Okay,
and it's
Triantel, why are you,
one character too long. God damn it!
Why are you hearing a badger scream in the distance?
Are you? Oh, I see. Oh, I'm guessing that bad tempered badger is from Worcester or Worcestershire or whatever the fuck.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my guess.
The one I was
Worcestershire
trying
sauce.
to get the URL for is who on first. The ball player's name
Well-
is who, HU.
Yeah,
Right. Well, the sketch is who's on first, though.
Yeah.
yeah. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
No,
Yeah,
no. It's
that's-
just I don't know's on third, not I don't know who.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And oh, you've got tomorrow and today, and is it tomorrow's pitching?
I don't remember.
I gotta
that
look
part.
up
It's been
this
so
thing.
Which
long.
one? Which is the shortstop?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, that's at the very end of the sketch, isn't it?
I think I'm gonna find this.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
okay.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!
I've never actually heard the full sketch. I've only heard parts of it.
Oh, the
Oh,
shortstop
it's
is I don't give a
beautiful.
darn.
Oh,
That's who it is.
okay.
I don't give a darn is the shortstop.
And on stage,
Yeah, because I
it
don't
was
give a
I don't give a
darn.
damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We have the bags. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. That's what I want to find out. I say, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. Are you the manager? Where else are we? The first. Okay, the first. Go ahead and tell me. That's who. Who gets the money? Whose wife? What's wrong with that? Wait a minute here. What's on second? Oh, come on. We got to have this.
Here we
The
are.
whole
It's-
script
it's
is beautiful.
First
Yeah.
base is who, second base is what, third base is I don't know, left field is why, center field is because, pitcher is tomorrow, catcher is today, and the shortstop is I don't give a darn.
Okay, then.
And they never give a name to the right fielder.
Everybody ignores the right fielder. I don't know, man.
I know the name of the right fielder.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. His name
No,
is
you
Tom.
don't. No, it's not.
His name is what?
Tom.
Actually, they do go into that. They
No.
did go into that at another time.
Well, it very specifically says that the right fielder is never named.
Yeah, I mean, the right fielders get short shrift. And, man,
I think that would be the shortstop.
yeah, there you go. And, man, it's amazing, though, when you've got a left-handed batter up and some of the amazing plays that the right fielders have made. But, that's just another og and another foo, and it's all full of poo.
Come here, baby.
Like I said, the
Come
right
here, kid.
fielder's named Tom. He's the only normal named guy in the bunch. And
No,
that's
he's
the
not.
joke.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Kitty.
So. Oh.
Oh, my.
Wait,
Okay,
so
here
who's
we
on-
are.
Hold on. So who is on
Baby.
first, right?
Yes.
We
Would
can
that mean he has a TARDIS?
we can drop this anytime.
Yeah, let it go, child.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
really
baby.
need to stop trying to be funny.
Yeah.
What? You're not good at it.
Some people
I
are,
thought
and
what
some
was
people
on
aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, Kate
you
is
know.
a master at coming up with the beautiful lines. Mistress,
I occasionally
don't know.
get one in there.
You know,
I get them in by accidental happenstance.
there is something satisfying about coming up with a joke that everybody seems to love. Like there is this guy on Twitter who was making the argument that if school children can't pay for lunch, they shouldn't be able to get
Jesus,
lunch.
that guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so a bunch
Wait,
of people
his
were
name
like,
is literally that guy.
No, he's not. No, it's not.
No, there's a guy
and
who's
so-
doing this.
Yeah, and so
Well, fuck
a bunch of people asked him, well, then what would you suggest? Because these kids need to eat. And he said, well, their parents could get a job. And we're like, well, maybe they have a job.
Man, some of these-
And it doesn't
Yeah.
pay a living wage and all this stuff. And he said, yeah, well, I have a good job. And I replied, being a tool isn't a job. And like the internet seemed to unanimously
Praise be to
love
the
that
mighty.
comeback. And I'm like,
Yep.
there's something so satisfying. It was kind of like a week ago, I was playing Spark, that VR sport I like.
Mhm.
And there was someone I was playing against where I knew I could beat them. And so I'm on the very last point of the game. And I say, okay, it's time to stop playing with my food. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to cook you, and I'm going to eat you. And less than a second after I finish that line, I get the final point. And I'm like, oh, that was beautiful. I wish I'd been recording that. That was the thing to do.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna kill you. And I'm gonna eat you.
That's what
And
you
so
said.
there is a certain satisfaction to coming up with the perfect line at the perfect moment. It's just really hard to do.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of it is
that's
a lot of it is
floating.
luck.
What's
Yeah.
up, Putty Tat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's up, Putty Tat?
Now, to be fair, I
Whoa.
stole
Oh,
the "Kill You
jeez,
Cookie" I
man.
Need You line from Die Hard, but still, it was perfect.
I remember that song. That's the problem, man. You're reminding me how
Mhm.
old I am.
There's a song? What song? What are you talking
What's
about?
what's new, Pussycat?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
Tom
new,
Jones.
Pussycat?
I think it was what, maybe about 1968.
Yeah.
did they
What's
use
up,
that in a
Pussycat?
James Bond movie?
Whoa.
Now you're reminding
Probably.
me of that
I don't
one
know.
time.
I really don't know.
Because I would swear, but then again, also, wasn't there a movie called that? Like, I swear there was a
My
movie
mom made a
called.
earbud.
I wanna say it might have been Woody Allen, but I'm not sure.
Ow.
I'm
That's
looking
Guy
right
Cooper,
now.
asshole.
What the fuck?
And
No.
no,
Tone it
Tornado
down, will ya?
Bailey-
Okay, here
Bailey
we go.
Cooper,
Here we
not
go. Hang
Guy
on.
Cooper.
What's
Sorry.
New, Pussycat from the Font of All Knowledge?
Ow.
What's New, Pussycat is a 1965 French-American comedy film directed by Clive Donner, written by Woody Allen in his first produced
I
screenplay,
knew it had something to do with Woody Allen. I fucking
Yep.
knew it.
and starring
All right.
Allen, Peter Sellers, Peter O'Toole, Romy Schneider, Capuchin, Paula Prentice, and Ursula Andress in
Peter Sellers, the very first Pink Panther.
yeah.
And you know, I've mentioned it before. I want to see a remake of the wow, brain not work. What's the one? The Mouse That Roared. That's
Oh,
it.
yes. God, beautiful
I mean,
film.
Peter Sellers was great in that, but watching it now, the movie doesn't hold up so well. It's paced funky.
Yeah, and by the way, it seems that the song was the title song for the film.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you know
yeah,
what?
the earbud warning became because a certain cat sunk his claws where we didn't want them to be sunk
Where do you
while
see?
he was
You know what? Go on.
uh, a tornado. I'm not going to say where he sunk them. Thank you.
So, you know what I found on one of the streaming services, and I had to watch it, was The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
Oh, yeah.
Russians are coming. Oh my.
Yes.
Okay.
No, not
I
The
must have
Russians
missed
Are
them.
Coming. It's The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. It's twice. And
I know.
like, for those who don't know the premise of the movie, there is a Russian submarine during the Cold War, mind you, that like the captain, for whatever reason, just wants to see America. So
Okay.
he surfaces the sub and keeps telling his crew to get closer, to get closer, to get closer so he can see America. And they end up running aground. Right? Like, he totally beaches the submarine. And so these Russians are like on this island off the coast of Maine, I think it is, where they're trying to find a tugboat to pull them out of the sandbar that they grounded on. And the locals notice that there's all these Russian sailors on their island and flip the fuck out about
Oh
it.
my. Okay.
Now, it's technically a comedy, but it was not that funny. But
That
I mean,
reminds me.
I don't know. It's a good concept for a film, but it was not well
You see,
executed.
there was a movie with Val Kilmer in it when he was really young. Right after he did Weird Science, I think it was.
Yeah. Wait, no, he
Where-
wasn't in Weird Science. You're thinking of Real Genius.
Or Real Genius. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Where he was playing I don't remember if it was a Russian teenager or a German teenager who was being sent to America to spy.
I'm not familiar with this movie, or if I am, I don't recognize it from the description.
I don't remember the name of it. I just remember Val Kilmer was one of the people who was in it, and he was playing one of the teenagers, and he was I remember it because at the beginning of the movie, he's having to learn to get rid of his Russian or German accent. Yeah. but I don't remember the
There's
name of it.
Accent, see?
there's a movie from the late 80s when the Cold War was like seriously running down called Ruskies. And basically it's like a bunch of Russian guys end up accidentally abandoned off the
Yeah.
coast of the United States. And these kids who are the like most right-wing army loving little brats find him, and they have to
Oh,
work
boy.
through their anti-commie prejudices,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up making friends with the guy and try to
Right.
help him get home. Now
Right.
the fun thing is that the cast for this movie is a bunch of kids who now are fairly well. Some of them are fairly famous. Like back when Joaquin Phoenix was still calling himself Leaf Phoenix, he's in it. Peter Billingsley from A Christmas Story is in it.
Oh my.
The Russian dude is played by Whip Hubley, who most of you probably don't know, but he was one of the
Yes.
pilots in Top Gun.
Yes.
And yeah, so it was, I mean, it's not a bad movie, although watching it now, it's kind of like, wow, I forgot this aspect of the 80s, the whole like Russian hating part of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to forget that part of history. It predates the '80s, definitely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
this
only
is
caught the tail end of the Cold War.
yeah, this is a problem. I mean, today, this is why Bernie has a hard time in some circles. Because
well,
there are
did you-
people my age and older who hear socialist, and they forget Social Security. They forget FDR. You know.
Well, I mean, are you watching the debates?
Not
Because
as much as I really should.
In the most recent one, the one right before this primary in South Carolina, like Bloomberg tried to play the commie card on Bernie, and he got shut down so hard on that one,
Yay.
and the media landed on Bloomberg so hard for that bullshit.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it
mean,
helps that Bloomberg isn't exactly a popular character anyway, but
Yeah. He bought his way on stage. His politics are kind of right wing. He talks the talk, he doesn't walk the walk. And I mean, seriously, there's no way he's getting nominated.
Oh, right.
And did you see Tom Steyer just dropped out?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Like last night, Tom Steyer dropped out.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, I turned the camera on you, so you stop playing with your tail.
But the thing is, Lizzie Warren actually kind of gave away the game, where she actually said that she is staying in the race specifically to siphon votes off from Bernie so that she can get to a brokered convention.
Yes.
That is the plan, is to bring superdelegates into play by making sure Bernie doesn't get a majority in the primary.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
That's kind of screwed up.
And tell
Of course
me,
it's gonna do that.
tell me they're not party over country. I mean, really.
Well, who's they?
The main. Let's try this again. Mainstream Democrats.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I've actually wanted to ask the Blue No Matter Who people. I'm like, okay, someone has just resurrected Hitler, and he's decided to run as a Democrat, and he wins the primary, and now it's Hitler versus Trump. Who you voting for? You still Blue No Matter Who?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, really.
Yes, it's
You know.
it's crazy. Because I want to, and I guess I'm going to have to make a film and put it out there. The Blue No Matter Who reminds me so much of these people are saying to us, there's no difference. And they're right when they say it. But you know, it's like cigarettes. You know, one cigarette is like any other. So, you know, smoke the one your hand lands on. And it's the same thing with the candidates. You know, they're one and another and another and they're all the same. They only have slightly different labels. So, you know, what does it matter? And they're right.
Bernie has obviously changed the debate. People are realizing what's popular with the populace, and so they have had to modify their positions to accommodate that. But I have to wonder if any of the not Bernie people end up in office, how much of what they promise will they actually fulfill?
Bingo, which was exactly what was in my head. It's okay. They're changing the line just for the elections, and then when the elections
Yeah.
occur and somebody's
Hey, Mom,
elected,
I'm
and
ready
it's
to go
all
out and get
it's
Well, I
it's
mean-
back to business as usual. That is, if the elections occur at all, because I have
Come talk to me in my room, child.
on the Tom Hartman program a few days ago, I heard a discussion that there are some people suspecting that Trump will use the coronavirus as an excuse to declare.
They're almost there today. They're going to get the Kickstarter bill
Okay,
today.
mute, please.
Honey,
Mute
honey,
your-
calm
very
down.
loud.
To celebrate.
But the whole thing was that there's suspicion that Trump will end up using the coronavirus as an excuse to declare a national emergency and
God, not again.
postpone or possibly cancel the elections.
I
can't.
heard people actually say that he will have, like people in his own party saying he will have to be dragged, kicking and screaming out of the White House by the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I'd be so happy to help. But yeah, I can see
really.
that
Be
coming.
happy to.
As long,
I just want warning so I can make the popcorn.
yeah, as long as we have a Secret Service who will fulfill their jobs, as long as we have federal marshals who will do their damn jobs, I want to see it happen. Just drag
Yeah.
him out.
But I mean, like, okay, I was gonna say something and now I don't remember. It was something about the candidates and now I don't remember. Oh well.
Did it have anything to do with?
I remember.
Oh, okay,
I remember.
okay.
I remember. See, when I was saying that the candidates, the Democrat candidates, are probably going to shift their positions once they get in office if they manage it, Trump did the same thing. I mean, Trump. A lot of people heard his allegedly populist message and said, "Well, that's so much better than Hillary. I'm going to go with that." He was talking total shite.
Oh yeah.
But it sounded really good to a lot of it. There are people out there who were lifelong Democrats who voted for Trump specifically because they were sick of the same old, same old. The status quo was not satisfying. And so they flipped to Trump because his message was more populist. And now, like, you'll find interviews all over the place of people regretting it.
Oh, yes.
Really hard.
I've been
You know,
hearing those
so-
interviews for 3 years.
So we may well experience a groundswell of support for someone who's actually populist like Bernie, and we've seen evidence of it simply because there are people out there going, well, Bernie is more likely, because he has the record for it, to fulfill his populist message than Trump ever was. So
I'm
think
hoping.
that, 'cause you get a lot of people to Bernie's right who are nevertheless still Democrats saying basically that like they need to siphon votes off of the center, that you can't give an appealing left-wing message, that you have to meet in the middle. And I think that's very much a losing strategy, that people are hungry for someone who's more left of center. And I think a lot of those people who voted for Trump originally because they wanted a populist are now going to flip to Bernie. And I don't think that the candidates who aren't Bernie realize that.
Yeah, I'd like to go polling in Westmoreland County, which is the county to the immediate west of where I live. I mean, I could walk there from here. That was very solidly Trump territory in 2016. I'd love to talk to some of these people and see where they stand now, because they have been getting short shrift for 3.5 years. I know that some of them are still, oh, I love Trump, I love Trump. I don't care that he screwed us up the asshole. But hopefully there are some who have kind of seen what has happened and might be changing their minds a little bit. I'd love to know. I'd love to go out there. It's just that I don't have the means to get out there. You know, I say I could walk out there, but that's just to the border.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen those interviews where they go up to someone, they say, "Who do you support?" They go, "Trump," and they're like, "So what about his policies do you like?" And they sit there and look blank for a second, and then they're like, "Well, I just like him," and that's all they have.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I wouldn't say Trump has charisma. I'm shocked they think so. But
Trump has no charisma whatsoever.
yeah. Well, the weird thing is, though, I can totally see why a right winger might think so. I mean, because, well, I don't know if any of you besides Diana have watched the alt-right playbook, like I keep telling you.
Oh God!
But
I'm going to find
right-wing-
it. You've got to watch this damn thing. It sounds like something you might not want. No, but trust me, you're gonna find yourself immersed in it. Really?
Yeah,
There's a lot of
and it is-
explanation that goes on.
And it is seriously an emotional gut punch, too. It really is.
There's Kate.
I remember the first time I watched it, it was an endurance trial to get through the whole thing. But I mean, it was also an eye opener in many ways. And one of the things people like about Trump is, number one, he's at the top of the totem pole as far as they're concerned, and number two, the right wing loves bullies. And if any word describes Trump, it's spoiled. But if there's any other word, it's bully.
Oh God, is he a bully?
And
so
it's the
I
whole
can see how
mindset.
I can see how a right winger might look at Trump and go, "He's a Republican Fonzie."
Okay,
You know what I
then,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I can see them thinking he's the cool dude, one of the cool kids. He is the one that throws his weight around in high school, and people love him for it.
Yeah, nobody really
There it is.
thinks about that. That the Fonz never graduated from high school.
Huh. Did Trump even go to high school?
I doubt it. He was probably homeschooled because they couldn't stand him and he got suspended too many times.
Well, didn't he go to
they would have thrown him
a
in
somewhat
school
military
anyway.
school or something, or he marched around and wore a uniform, and he thinks that that's military training?
Well, I've always gotten the impression that military school is trying to turn out officers rather than enlisted.
Well, number one, that's the case, and number two, some of the military schools are really reform schools.
And the thing is they wouldn't have put up with Trump.
Yeah,
Mr. Trump would have been kicked out.
Or if it had actually affected him, he'd be a very different person right now.
Exactly.
But he is such a child. I mean, it is hard not to look at him and his behavior and not see a spoiled brat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm watching something currently ticking on as the minutes tick by, so that's why I'm kind of silent.
That's fine.
Keep watching. Keep watching.
Keep watching it. That's fine. No, there are many nicknames for the
Orange Man Baby.
Yeah, the whining orange menace, and one of them is Child in Charge.
Yeah.
Donnie and the Giant impeached.
That's where that's where the whole balloon came from. I mean, Trump in a diaper. For fuck's sake, man. He's...
Well, anytime something doesn't go his way, such as the impeachment, he sits there and he throws a fucking temper tantrum.
He's sitting there throwing his toys out.
Okay, Tornado, shh.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one thing to say something. It's another thing to say what is being said like 3 seconds earlier.
Yeah, he whines and he screams and he throws a temper tantrum, and then he goes on to spew out venom and hate on Twitter, you know.
And he's always trying to do that whole sad and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that little whole thing going on there. Yeah, it's Pence is more in charge than Trump is, which is terrifying.
Exactly.
Especially, I mean, I don't see Pence in the news very much at all. In fact, I haven't seen much of him until they put him in charge of the coronavirus, which, number one, eek. But he's like he is definitely the power behind the scenes.
Yes.
Right.
Do the marionette thing from behind the screen, guys.
Like it
Right.
seems like he's doing the best to not even be noticed.
Yeah.
Right. And excuse me as I readjust the pillow holding my tablet because it's hurting. When you think about it, Trump they're not allowing him to make his own decisions because they know if he is allowed to make decisions, it will destroy the US. Because he cannot be an adult about his decisions. You know that if he was the person in charge of making decisions when he was in Korea, trying to get the North Korean jackass to agree with him.
Oh, Kim. Yeah.
Kim Jong-un, we would have had a nuclear war started.
Well, I mean, one thing I've heard about Trump is that he always agrees with the last thing he heard.
That was you that had said that.
Like-
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like people will come into the office, give a proposal. He goes, "Ooh, that's awesome!" And then other people will come in and give a proposal, and he goes, "Ooh, that's awesome!" Like he will inevitably just go with the last thing he heard, and that's a little scary too. And then there's the influence of Fox News because he's addicted to that. Like he spends all his time watching Fox News.
Yeah. The thing I don't understand, well, I do understand and I don't understand all at the same time. Trump is so childish with his name calling. What was it? Sleepy Joe or whatever the hell it was earlier this morning, and for some reason, with most of his base, it's not getting old. They're eating this bullshit up, and if that's all he's got.
I mean, I forget if it was him or Shrubya, but one of them was calling Putin Pooty Poot.
Okay, I don't remember.
And I don't know if it was to his face or behind the scenes, but one of them was calling Putin Pooty Poot.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm just like, wow.
Well, but look at the fact that the recent issue about the elections again, where the caucuses was brought up, and they were informed by the intelligence service that we were being hacked, and Trump flat out said, "Oh, well, I'm replacing the head of the intelligence division," because they were proving that Trump was hand-holding again with these people interfering in the elections.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the person who had proof of that is being replaced with a Trump supporter. Every time someone can prove he is that he cheated to get put into office, and now he's doing it again, that person gets replaced.
It sounds a little Stalin-esque to me.
It is. It's really scary.
Well, what's a little scary, even like in the whole nomination process, like they have been saying, "Oh, now Putin's Russian bots are like trying to swing the election to Bernie."
Yeah,
as if this is somehow, number one, something Bernie decided to do, asked for, like he wants them on his side. But number two, it wouldn't shock me if they're cooking this up specifically to steal the election from Bernie, because that's their mission right now. Is
that's
like they're pulling out every dirty trick in the book to try to stop Bernie, and it's really scary. It's like the cool kids trying to hate on the nerd. Essentially, if this was high school, if this was a playground or whatever, and it like I'm watching it, and not to steal a line from Trump, but it's just sad.
Yeah. Well, and you look at it, they're doing the same exact shit as they did.
Oh, merciful Zeus!
The hell?
Something.
No, his.
I'm going to assume that somebody made your Kickstarter target.
I would assume so.
I'm just glad that his mic was off.
He was in the dining room. He wasn't even in his bedroom.
either way, it didn't break our ears when it happened as
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, now you see what I
Numbered.
live with day
Robert,
by
is this
day by
the
day.
is this the launch for the challenge?
Actually, I'm seeing something here that says going into suicide mode, whatever that means.
Hmm?
Yeah, Robert had said earlier, going into suicide mode,
Sorry
countdown
about that.
199.98,
What?
blah 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 blah.
Okay, if this turns into a snuff film, I shall be very put out.
Uh, I'm trying to remember the name of the group that I'm thinking of here.
Heaven's Gate, Jonestown, what?
There you go. Now there's somebody trying to get a couple of launches done for a challenge.
Well, and I mean,
Sorry about the screaming, guys.
No, you're not.
yeah, just yeah,
Contain
Anyway.
yourself.
yes. The there is so much shit with the election going on. So much bullshit that has been going on since 2016. And Trump literally started all that shit about the emails and shit to keep people from supporting Hillary, and now he's doing the exact same routine with Bernie by saying, "Oh, it's Bernie being controlled by the Russians." Blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. So the countdown is not what I thought it was. There's a group called Astra that's trying to conduct a couple of launches for DARPA. I guess.
DARPA.
Yeah, the Defense Advanced Research Project something.
Okay, so they're launching themselves in rockets.
They're trying to launch rockets to. It's a challenge with launching military satellites later.
Okay,
Hey,
so they're
did
not
you hear
actually
about-
going to be in it, right?
No. The flat Earth guy is not going to be in these rockets. Now he died a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he died. No, he died a week ago because he launched himself in one of his rockets, and his chute was torn.
Yeah,
Oh, no, actually, it was.
I saw a video of it, and it just went up and went back down.
Yeah, the chute deployed on the way up, and boy, was that a mess.
The part that knocked me out is that it's steam powered.
Yeah.
He's lucky he didn't kill himself before.
Yeah. Well, no, because he's dead now, so it wasn't very lucky at all.
Yeah, so I mean, I was saying on Twitter that when someone wins a Darwin Award, it's okay to point and laugh.
Right.
You know, and someone was like, but the family, they're all grieving and this, that, and the other thing.
Oh,
and I'm like,
please.
yeah, but he died in a steam-powered rocket that was intended to prove the Earth is flat. That's hilarious. You
Right.
can make fun of that, and it's
Mhm.
okay.
And I sometimes
Right.
wonder, I mean, okay, if there's any family involved here, how many of them said, "Oh, we're rid of
You're
him.
an idiot."
All right." You know?
Well, I wonder how many were face-palming even before he launched.
Yeah, saying, "Oh my God, you're a fucking idiot."
I just
I
don't know.
mean,
I don't get the whole steam powered thing. I do know that, okay, with more powerful propellants, he would run into licensure and a few other things with the Air Force and with, I'm trying to remember who handles, there's another,
The FFA.
I mean,
okay.
the FAA.
Yeah, FAA.
Yeah.
I don't even know what FFA stands for, but it's some sort of
Flight-
country thing.
Federal airspace air.
No, FFA.
The FFA.
is the thing. Like I only
FFA.
know about it because of the song "Goodbye Earl."
Right,
And
it
I
has to
think it's some sort of
do.
farming association or something.
Oh, Future
No, Future
Farmers of
Farmers is
America.
FFA. Yeah.
That's the FFA,
Yeah.
yeah. The FAA is different, but you
Yeah,
said that
Federal
first
Air.
and it made me
Yeah,
think
brain
of
tired. Sorry. Um, FAA is Aerospace and Aeronautics.
The FAA, Federal Aviation Administration.
Yeah, that one. But they're the ones who control the airspace over the U.S.
Yeah.
well, that is something I've wondered about is if you have a private space program, what kind of like authority or authorization or whatever do you have to get from the FAA?
SpaceX.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
SpaceX is you have to have your. Will you get off the down? Sylvia, get down.
Actually, wouldn't shock me if the FAA said that to a few people.
Yeah, that too. No, they basically do what the Air Force does with NASA. So
Yep.
make sure that the design is good. Make sure that you know what you're doing. That sort of thing.
Yes,
I wonder,
SpaceX is
are
a
there
private company operating in Florida, building rockets for
I mean,
NASA.
if you
to
build a
use.
rocket and launch it without the permission of the FAA, how much
You
trouble
get
do you get in?
A lot.
serious, a lot. You will get fined billions of dollars
And you do not even have to
and
be
go
on
to jail.
You do not even have to be on U.S. soil to be in trouble.
Mm-mm.
All you have to
Really?
be is a U.S. citizen. Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane.
As long as it is considered being launched in U.S. airspace without federal permissions and licensing, yeah, you can get into a lot of trouble. And that's why they are cracking down so much on drones.
And they are
Because
cracking down on drones.
people are using them to spy on people. They're using them to invade people's privacy.
Meanwhile, I use the
There's
drone to chase a seagull.
right. Well, but they also have drones entering into aviation flight zones, and almost causing collisions with planes.
Yes, there is like a 5 miles from any airport regulation on drones.
Right.
And okay, how do you manage outside of 5 miles, Kate? Because I mean,
I
consider.
don't.
Yeah, I was going
I
to say.
haven't used my drone in years.
There are many much airports in the San Diego area.
Another thing, laser pointers.
Really?
We have, oh my God, so many. We've got an airport here in Crystal River, a private airport, and they are the Tampa International Airport. Recently had several people arrested because in the middle of the night, people were shining laser pointers up at the pilots' windows as the planes were coming in to land.
And they couldn't help it. They had to bat at it.
Well, actually, one of the pilots suffered temporary blindness because of the laser pointer shining through his cockpit window.
I'm actually somewhat amazed it was temporary.
Yeah, he got lucky. But they actually had a video about 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, last month, something like that, where they showed the police coming in through cameras because they were showing the laser pointers shining up at the helicopter as they were searching for them, trying to find these people who were shining laser pointers up into the sky in the middle of the night in Tampa, and they caught them, and they're sitting in jail right now.
See, is it weird that my takeaway from this is to be impressed by the aim of the person with the laser pointer?
Really.
Yeah, I mean that's some good stuff going on there.
I mean,
Right.
And
frankly,
it's,
I'm a little shocked they managed to hit the plane, let alone the
Well,
comet.
those later laser pointers outside can go several miles.
That's not what I mean.
well,
I don't
no,
mean how
it's
far it can go. I mean them actually hitting the target.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, when you consider that the aircraft is not stationary for
Right.
one.
And it's
Well, you
pretty
can.
far away, so it's kind of a small target.
Well, it was coming in. They're hitting them as they're coming in to land.
So
Even
what are they
so,
in line with the
even-
runway? So you don't
Yeah.
have. Oh, okay.
Oh, all right, that makes a certain kind of sense. I thought they were trying to hit it like from the side or directly below.
No, it shows them slightly to the side, pointing up at an angle as the plane's coming into land. And the pilots are commenting, and they had like 3 planes in a row in one night hit with this laser pointer from these people.
Ugh, that
That
is so
could kill
stupid.
someone.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are the. I would like to set these people on fire. I really would.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's like, okay, people, why are you doing this? Why are you risking the pilots going blind and crashing and killing hundreds of people?
They're
Thrills.
probably not even thinking in those terms. They probably haven't thought that far ahead. They probably just think it's funny.
Well, I'm sure they're thinking about it now as they're getting charged with attempted murder.
Hmm.
well, I don't know if you'd get charged with attempted murder, but some sort of
Oh,
reckless.
yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought that
Because-
attempted murder
okay.
required intent, but I guess not. Okay.
But that's the thing. They're shining these laser pointers at the planes as they're coming into land. That is intent. They are doing it on purpose.
You know, it's almost certainly not the same, but I have to wonder, like, if they pointed this laser pointer at a flying, like a fighter jet, would they be like, oh shit, we're being painted by enemy radar. I don't know where it's coming from. Fuck. Or that's why I say it's probably not the same kind of laser as
But
pointed,
yeah,
like,
you would
at a
wonder.
target for missiles.
Right. But we don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that would
I
be
can't
scary.
imagine it's the same. They probably have some pretty tight regulations on what laser pointers.
Probably. Right. But when you think about it, because this happened 3 nights in a row with multiple planes, which is why they're saying attempted murder, because these people, it has been announced over and over and over and over, and it's even written on the packaging of the laser pointers: do not shine these at planes. They can cause this, and this.
Moo.
Mm.
And
So it is printed on the packaging that it can cause permanent blindness.
you.
And I have to wonder, like, do cell phones actually do anything to the plane?
No.
No, but it can cause interference with some of their takeoff and landing programs.
Oh,
Well, that's what I mean.
I thought
Does
it was.
do anything to the plane.
I thought that was already
Yeah.
debunked. I could be wrong on that one then. Okay.
I'm not sure. I could be wrong too, but the only time they tell you to turn off your cell phones is when you're taking off and landing.
Well, no, you have to keep them off through the whole flight.
Do you?
Yeah.
We'll talk to someone who's
Oh,
been doing a
airplane
lot
mode.
of.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know.
I'm seeing an article here. It says the real reason cell phone use is banned on airplanes. It's a long ass wall of text, though, so I don't know how deep into it they will actually give
See,
you.
I
the
don't
answer.
know.
That's the problem I've always had with internet articles like this is they feel the need to pad it out and have a shit ton of preamble when what you want is a 1 or 2 sentence answer.
Maybe
it will do this.
Maybe it interferes with the plane's Wi-Fi that they use to broadcast movies and stuff and radio.
Because phones can use Wi-Fi.
I
My
don't-
phone uses Wi-Fi.
I know, but I don't know. Who knows? But you know, they talk about these people shining the laser pointers on the news, and they said that they may be. I don't know if they're actually going to be charged with attempted murder, but because of the situation and it being printed on the package,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it's considered premeditated because they didn't do it just to one plane. they kept doing it over and over.
Yeah, my first thought would be
hold
some
on.
sort of reckless endangerment, but who am
I,
I?
I got me what looks like an answer here. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like 6 paragraphs down. It says it turns out that the ban on wireless devices has a lot more to do with possible interference for ground networks rather than any danger posed to aircraft systems.
Oh, well,
Wow.
that makes sense.
So there
What's
you
up?
go.
Uh,
And it says here the FCC briefly considered lifting the in-flight ban on wireless devices, but eventually decided in 2007 to keep the current rules in place because there wasn't enough evidence to show whether in-flight wireless devices would cause harmful interference with ground networks. There also wasn't evidence demonstrating that the devices do cause interference, but the federal agency decided to play it safe.
Well, I could
So
kind of
basically,
understand the
they're just
whole.
jerking
Yeah.
us around. But there's a reason, like right now, I have a 1 terabyte external drive that will totally work with my Chromebook. So if I want to watch the movie I want to watch instead of the one they let me watch on
Right.
I have, like, I'm still in the process of ripping all my movies, and I have more than 700 discs, so it'll take a few minutes. But
oh my goodness.
but I have been filling up that 1 terabyte drive, and well,
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Wow. Sorry about that.
yeah. I did the really important movies first, like, the Star Wars saga pre-Disney, obviously,
Mhm.
Tron, and
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff along those lines. Unfortunately, there won't be enough room on there to start doing TV shows as well.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not fitting all of Babylon 5 on that thing unless I dedicate it to Babylon 5.
You're going to have to get one solely for Babylon 5.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is there-
So I'm not bothering.
Is there enough room on there for Fritz the cat?
I've never watched Fritz the Cat.
Oh my.
It's worth watching once. I mean, just to see what Bleeding Edge was when that was released. I mean, it's nothing I would run out to see again. But it reminded me. Well, I think it was all about our Crumb, wasn't it?
What?
I have no
about-
clue. I
wait,
never
all about
watched it.
what? Say the word again. All about what?
Okay. First initial R, last name Crumb. The animator
know
who
that
gave
name.
us Keep on Truckin' and all that other happy stuff.
Well, I wouldn't know about that one.
Let's see. I is gonna look up this thing for you. Okay. Yep. There it is. It's a 1972 American adult animated comedy film written and directed by Ralph Bakshi.
yeah, I know
based
him.
on the comic strip by Robert Crumb and starring Skip Hinant.
I know Ralph Bakshi. He's done a lot of stuff. I mean, his animation tends towards the edgier, but he has done a lot.
Okay, then.
Wasn't Fritz the Cat
Like
that really
he's done
adult
some fairly
anime
famous stuff.
thingy?
Like the movie Wizards.
Uh-huh.
Ah, okay.
He did that. He also did the animated Lord of the Rings.
Wasn't
Oh
that-
yes.
Yeah, which
The
was
Hobbit. Yeah.
pretty awful.
Was
No.
Fritz the Cat
I mean, he might have done
weird
The Hobbit
anime
as
or
well,
that
but
weird
he
cartoon that
definitely
was
did
very adult?
the Lord of the Rings, the post-Hobbit stuff. He did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm just looking at his directorial credits, never mind writer credits. He's got like 69 movies here to his name. Mind you, some of them are shorts and some of them are music videos, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most I'm looking, and I'm not sure how many of these I've even watched. Like maybe one or two. But yeah.
Yeah, it's. I remember Fritz from Zap Comics. I never owned a first edition. I owned a bunch of reprints, but man, had I had first editions, I'd be rolling in dough right now.
Okay, there's one I've seen. Cool World. I've definitely seen
Yes.
Cool World. It wasn't very good, but I've seen it.
I remember Cool
That's the one
World.
with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I think so. It's the one that was trying really hard to be Roger Rabbit, only sexier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still want to see like something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but instead of like Looney Tunes and Disney, it was all G.I. Joe and the Transformers and Ninja Turtles and all of that.
Oh,
Because they
that'd
never
be
do the
cool.
adventure cartoons. It's always the funny cartoons. And I would very much like to see
Yeah.
something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but taking itself seriously,
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to be a comedy. That is one of the big problems with animation in the United States, at least in
Yeah.
Hollywood, is that they always try to do comedy with it, and like they don't seem to realize animation isn't just for kids.
Yeah.
Right. There's
Yeah.
so much you could do with it.
That's the problem with Hollywood. I mean, they even did it when they realized anime was getting popular.
Popular.
They decided to import everything that was little kidsy
Yeah.
at first,
And
anyway.
and then the stuff that wasn't little kidsy, while they imported it, they turned it into little kidsy. Where
They
it
cut
was,
a lot of stuff out.
yeah, and,
Yeah, I had at one point the original version of Nausicaa Valley of the Wind.
Mm.
Where it was on Laserdisc straight
Oof.
from Japan, and somebody recorded it onto a video for me, onto a DVD, a VCR tape. And one of the things I remember in it is when she has landed on that island with the baby Gorgon.
It's
And
the
she's,
mother.
yes, yes, but they didn't call it the Ohm in the English version of the original. They called it a Gorgon. And she flat out grabbed the machine gun and she said, "You started this damn peeve, now you're gonna fix it."
Mm. It's funny, for a very long time, like I remembered that movie, but did not know what it was called at all. And the
Right.
scene I remember best was where what's her face and the one dude are like hugging in a field, and the
Hmm.
wind changes and the flowers shift from yellow to purple. That
Right.
was the one scene I remembered from the
Oh,
movie, and I
that
could not, for
was
the life of me, remember what it was called. It
right.
turned out to be Nausicaa Valley of the Winds, but
Hmm.
like I carried that memory from childhood, not able to remember what the hell it
Right.
was that I had seen. And then
Yep.
when I finally saw it, I was like, aha! So yeah.
Yeah. I always remember the fact that when she does die in the movie,
Well,
and
kind of.
nobody seems to. Well, she is not breathing when the Ohm lift her up into the air.
Yeah.
She's not breathing, so she's pretty much dead at that point.
Oh, well, a lot of people don't breathe and they're brought back.
Yeah, but I always like that the fact that you can hear the baby humming before any of the adults start.
Hmm. Um, Man, Miyazaki is so hit or miss for me.
Yeah, he's got Howl's Moving Castle, which is weird. Oh my god,
Hmm.
that is such a weird movie.
You wouldn't think it, but I absolutely loved Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh yeah, I find Kiki's great. Kiki's
Well,
is
yeah,
great.
but
Totoro.
it's not my usual thing, so it's a
Mhm.
little surprising.
Uh-huh. Her one with the dragon,
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, that one is a little odd to me. That one, it's not my favorite.
I thought that
Um,
Princess Mononoke was terrible.
I never watched it. I don't even know what it
I
is.
and I get a lot of shit for that, but I really didn't enjoy it.
I don't even know that one.
Um, you'd probably recognize imagery from it if you saw it because it was everywhere for a while, but it's okay to not know what the hell it is.
What's another one he did? Totoro.
Mm, mm, mm.
Something something Totoro.
My Neighbor
My
Totoro.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
my neighbor
not.
Totoro.
I, what I've
That
seen of it did
one I
not blow up my
actually
skirt.
I dislike that one simply because my the child I used to babysit, her mother would put that on and let it loop
Oy.
over and over and over. So we would watch My Neighbor Totoro 8 times in one day. And it's like, oh my God, can we please change the fucking movie?
Frozen.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Frozen is another one she did that with. And oh my God.
It's funny, Tria. I recently got my hands on the Ewok Adventure, and
Oh
I'd
God.
seen it when I was little, and I found it very, very difficult to finish now.
Yes.
In fact, I'm not sure I managed it, but a lot of stuff I remember from when it was new happened, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I was totally right about that one.
Yeah.
So,
That movie, it's not the only, there was more than one Ewok adventure. Um,
oh yeah, there was a
yeah.
second one. And
Yeah.
the what I have is a 2-pack that has both of them. I haven't even
Yeah.
tried the second one.
Oh God, no. The second
And
one,
the thing
oh
is,
my God,
like,
it was just,
there was very little Star Warsy about any of it. I mean,
yeah.
except for the Ewoks and one scene with a blaster, there's really very
Yeah.
little to do with
And I
Star Wars.
always thought, why in the name would you name your child Sindel?
Well, it's not so bad.
I don't know. I always, when I first saw it, I thought her name was Cinder.
But I don't know. I'm trying to remember the name of the boy.
I don't remember his name.
Because the scene I remember best is when he's looking at like a pond or something and he reaches out to touch it, and all of a sudden he's inside it for no good reason whatsoever. And there's like this thin sheet of what looks like glass because it's clearly not ice that he can't get out of, and he's slowly drowning.
Hmm.
Oh, here we go. His name was Mace, which is kind of funny because, Mace Windu. But yeah. Man, I have to wonder where these people are now, like in their careers. Like did they ever get other parts?
I don't
I mean, because
know.
I'm looking the girl who played Sindel,
Mm-hmm.
she was in the Ewok movies, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Walker, the kid who played her brother, he has 13 acting credits to his
Mm-hmm.
name, and I think I've seen none of it.
He probably was one of those childhood actors who got stuck in a part.
I don't know about that. I mean,
Or
because
they
his
just
his
decided he.
last credit is 2006,
Uh huh.
so
Oh, that
probably
was a while ago. Wow.
yeah. But I mean, it's hard to say he got stuck in an Ewok role in 2006. No, come on, come on.
I don't even know when the movies came out, so.
Oh, like 84, 83.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
that
84.
explains it.
Because it was immediately after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I remember that, and everybody was going bonkers over Return of the Jedi because it took so long for the movie to come out.
Well, it was 3 years.
Yeah.
It's always been 3 years between Star Wars movies, or at least when, it was pre-Disney.
Mm-hmm. Now
So
it's they put them out like runts.
what day is it?
Yeah.
I just,
They put them out like they're a box of runts candy.
Mhm. But
Thinking
yeah,
these-
Tria, Flight of the Navigator, that's a staple of my childhood, that one.
Oh, the Explorers.
It's just Explorers, there's no the.
Yeah, that was always a
But
fun one.
I do love that flick, yes.
I was
my
telling-
only complaint about that movie is I kind of wish the aliens had been like, you could have taken them more seriously because they were kind of cartoonish, you have to
They
admit.
Mhm.
That's the one
just-
complaint I have about that movie. Although I rewatched it recently, and I gotta tell you, Ethan Hawke whines through a lot of it.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I just told Tornado about that movie yesterday because we were discussing aliens and alien life, and we had we were doing a series. What would happen? What do you think would happen if aliens? Are there aliens out there? I said, either I have 5 theories. Either they don't know about us, they know about us and don't care. They know about us and are watching us to find out what we do. They know about us and they hate us. Or what was the last one? Tornado. Do you
They
remember?
know about us, and they don't, and they're scared.
Yeah.
It's hard to picture
And that's-
aliens being scared of us.
Well, oh no, there are no aliens. The sixth one was there are no aliens, so we're alone in the universe.
Well,
Well,
I gotta tell
okay.
you, that last one seems so freaking
Oh,
unlikely.
I know.
Well,
I think they're sitting out there, they're watching us and going, "Oh my God, these people are so bigoted."
But I mean, that
Well, here-
assumes a lot of assumptions that the aliens are more advanced than us. I like the idea of humanity getting out there and discovering there's no advanced civilizations, that they're all stuck in the Bronze Age or stuck in or like it's all like we have it now, like pre space flight being common,
Right.
and so we get out there and we realize, oh my gosh, we're the first ones. We're the first ones to explore our galaxy. And
Well,
why
here's-
is that?
Here's something interesting, though. I mean, if there are aliens out there looking at us, who know that we're there and who are watching us, they've
Right.
got to be within 100 light years. Because really, when you think about it, wouldn't the only way they would know we exist be by electromagnetic radiation and a radio,
No,
television,
no.
that sort of thing?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's the thing. If they're exploring and they've found as many Terran worlds as they can, they might just be going from one to the other, and never like the only reason they notice us is because they came here looking for life, because they know that there is an Earth-like planet here.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
They're an advanced civilization that has other ways of finding us, I mean, we don't know what their advances might be like.
But I mean, the assumption always seems to be, though, that they will come here and find us, not that we will develop interstellar technology and find them.
Right. Well,
In
that's
fact,
like
one
what
of the
Explorers
episodes,
was all
actually,
about.
A couple of episodes of the Orville deal with exactly that.
Well, and my thing is that, I think that they're out there and they're looking at us and looking at our movie content about alien civilization.
Independence.
Yeah, well, but
And
see,
going,
that's the thing,
oh
though.
my
How
God,
often-
do we want to approach these people? They really
No, but-
don't like
No,
aliens.
no. See, that's the thing, though, is if you watch those movies, humanity never fires the first shot.
Well, I know.
Wait a minute. Isn't there what is the one with Barbara Stanwyck?
Okay. I take that back. Yes, there are times when humanity fires the first shot because they don't realize, but it's so rare. And you're probably thinking of not This Island Earth, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Thank you. I was.
Yes, but the thing is that I'd say more than 9 times out of 10, humanity tries to greet the aliens and they come out shooting.
Yeah. The only
But they would also look at movies like, say, E.T., for example,
and Close
so
Encounters of the Third Kind.
and go, humans actually do want to meet us. My
Right,
question
but-
is, will they be able to discern fact from fiction? Will they know that they're just stories?
That's the question. Yeah.
I imagine they would have to. I mean, if they can interpret human languages and they notice it says a so-and-so film directed by this person starring these people, they'd have to figure out that this is at least not a documentary.
But the question will be, how will we greet them?
Well, it depends on them. It totally depends on them. Because, let's put it this way. If I was in charge of any kind of SETI or exploration, I know my first thought would be cautious optimism.
Well, just
Be
like
nice, be polite.
General whatever, hello, we of Earth welcome you.
Well, I have to wonder, how many cultures are out there where things we take for granted are things they see as massive insults. I think it's in Japan, for example, and this is just a small thing, where here in the U.S., when you sit down to eat, we're told clean your plate.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if you do that in
yeah.
Japan, it's an insult to the people who had you over for dinner, because you're saying by cleaning your plate, you didn't give me enough.
Yes.
Right? And so I have to wonder if we encounter aliens and we try to say, like, welcome to Earth, but apparently putting your hand out like this is a deadly insult.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, like, if I can realize that their culture and ours may clash, how could they not?
Right.
Well, okay, maybe they are extraterrestrial alt-right.
Yeah, I suppose that's possible, but if let's suppose the alt-right had their dream and everyone joined them or was killed off, how many of them would even leave the planet, do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
How many of them would go, oh yes, let's go explore the galaxy? Because I mean, number one, we are God's chosen people, and therefore our planet is the center of everything, obviously, according to
I don't feel that way.
and, well, okay, but my point is that they're the right wing. I'm assuming you're
Yeah.
not.
No.
And
No,
like,
she's a
number two,
little left of, yeah.
yeah.
I'm pretty
And I mean,
left of
number
center.
two, like,
Where
they
do
have
I
other-
stand?
They have other things that they would probably decide. Like the right wing would probably go, we can't go meet aliens. That's a bad idea. I mean, this is our land. This is God's green earth. We have to stay here because this is the gift we were given, or any number of other excuses.
Yeah.
to not go to
I would
space.
love to go out.
Biblically.
I would love to go out and be able to explore space.
The only way I can see the right wing deciding to explore space is if they thought it was like our manifest destiny to conquer the galaxy.
Oh,
and also
God.
That's
coupled
coming.
with
That's
some-
coming.
Well, but I mean, coupled with some military fervor, because the right wing has such a hard on for the military, and they think, oh yeah, Air Force pilots become astronauts. It's a military venture to go out into space, and we love the military. Fap. So we're gonna.
or we have destroyed the Earth so badly they don't have a choice. They stay and they die.
Not well. Okay, they stay and they die. Sure.
Yeah, so they have a choice. Their manifest destiny has been changed. They have to get out and conquer the universe so that they can find a new home for Earth.
No, they'll stick around on Earth and pray that God heals the world.
No,
is what they'll
no.
do.
Well, they are saying anyway that they can't wait for the end of the world because that's when the new age begins, and everybody is taken up into heaven, and then screw the earth because it's toast.
I love that meme out there that says we should, like, when a rapture is supposed to happen again, we should fill a bunch of blow-up dolls with helium and just release them to make people think, oh my God, people being raptured and I'm not. Oh, fuck. I'm not worthy of rapture. Then I would screw with people, and I'd absolutely love it.
I had a different idea.
Oh,
I'm
Robert
going to swing
X.
this past Diana since she heard about it once. Getting a
What?
bunch of shoes in dry ice.
I see where you're going
And
with that.
leaving them out on the doorstep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Robert, I was reading one of the articles. I forget which browser it is. I think it's the Chrome. That when you don't have an index page of your own, you get one that has these articles listed that you might want to read and everything else like that. And where was I going with this? Oil in space. There it is. That reran the article about the Bible that oozed oil. You guys ever?
What?
Yeah,
No.
there was a scam sometime back about a Bible that was oozing oil, and everybody was praying over it and everything like this, and nobody ever admitted to anything, but it was all the evidence was pointing to somebody running out and buying mineral oil and soaking this thing in it. I gotta find the article. 'Cause it was amazing.
I'm trying to remember what it was. There was something where she'd lost her Bible at sea or something. And so someone took a Bible and immersed it in water for a day or two and then stuck it in her bookcase or in her dresser drawer or something so that she would find this waterlogged Bible that had, allegedly reappeared from the ocean.
Okay,
my.
here it is. It appeared in Slate. I'm gonna throw the thing, whatever you call that thing, and you can go. Yeah, that thing.
The
Um,
Lancelot Link Secret Gem.
oh yeah, about how a
It's
miracle
almost
fell
as bad
apart.
as the Wicked Bible.
Oh, jeez. Well, I
Ever
mean, that,
heard of the Wicked
yes,
Bible?
I have. Thou shalt commit adultery. Yes.
The
No.
Bible. Now, along similar lines to this oozing Bible, you heard about that thing where like water was dripping off of a statue of, I want to say it was Mary or whatever, and people thought it was holy water, and it turned out that like a sewer had backed up, and it was all precipitation off of the statue
Oh,
from this
oh.
sewer water.
Okay, it's not the one I was thinking of, but yes, I have heard about that one. The one the first one I thought of was the one with the wood lice, where.
What?
This is funny. I'm trying to. I think it was Aaron Ra who first mentioned it, or that I heard anyway. There was a woman at a care home who's very, very ill or whatever, and it's a Catholic care home, and she's praying for help and everything. She goes to a statue and puts her hand on it and says, "Oh, by the glory of God," and then it starts raining on her. And she says, "Oh, it's a miracle! It's a miracle!" And everybody is gathering around this statue with their hand on it, with by the glory of God, and the rain falls and everything else. And it turns out, let's see if I can remember how Aaron put it. You did not have to say by the glory of God. You did not have to say anything at all, because this tree was infested with wood lice, and they were sucking the sap from, and then they were pissing on everybody who was and when you would tell them, and when you would tell them that this is what is happening, they would say, "No, it's not. This is what our fantasy is. What's it?" And they wouldn't buy it.
You're giving me the creeps.
wow.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
You know the gold cross that survived the Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was a
Cathedral
tree,
fire?
not a statue. But my bad here.
Well, but I mean, like people said, oh, the gold cross survived. It's a sign from God, and it turns out no, gold doesn't melt at the temperature that the
Right.
cathedral was burning, and
Right,
so it could
right.
only survive because of how gold is built.
Yes.
And yeah, but people still want to say it's a miracle because, ooh, I have to wonder, like, if it had been something that wasn't a cross, how would they feel about it?
Yeah. How about
Whoa,
what if it was a
Mike?
golden dildo?
What?
I said, what if it was a golden dildo? Did you not hear me the first time?
Well, I mean, what? Like, I would love to get a time machine just so I can play practical jokes on people, and I would love to go to like the cathedral right before the fire and leave like a golden movie from the Kevin Smith movies, Movie the Golden Calf, who's like the mascot of a fast food chain.
Oh my!
Leave that there just to see what happens. Like maybe even take the cross down or put the movie on it somehow, just to fuck with people.
That's beautiful.
Oh, my.
I mean, it's
Oh,
kind of like
God,
I would love
I
to go
love
back in time.
Oh, jeez, yes, absolutely.
I'd love to go back in time. And I mean, if Jesus turns out to be a real guy from history and he really was crucified, I'd love to go to the crucifixion and rescue him. You know, it's like there will be no Messiah on my watch, bitch. You know, you're not getting
man.
sacrificed.
Okay, well,
I would love to do it.
I'm more and more as time goes on, leaning toward an historical Jesus. Now, that historical Jesus was in no way the scriptural Jesus. Okay?
Okay.
But, that would be impossible. But I mean, at first, a while back, I was a strict mythicist. But I'm thinking that the way some of the things played out, where, you have I know there were 3 different inscriptions in the three Gospels where they appear, but they all have the same idea about, the King of the Jews. So was there, that's one example. Was there this guy who was declaring himself king of all the Jews? And he intended to give the Roman governor a hard time, and it was finally decided, okay, we've got to take care of this guy.
Well, there was a royal family among the Jews, but I don't know that Mary or Joseph came from that family.
Yeah, unlikely. I think I know where you're coming from. Would it not be that Herod Antipas and who was whose father? I forget.
Herod was a Roman.
Oh, I thought Herod was a Jew for some reason. Okay.
No.
I still think it's
okay.
weird when people say the Jews killed Jesus. I'm pretty sure it was the Romans nailing him up.
No. Okay. The way it's written is that because of what Jesus was proclaiming himself to be, the heads of the temples
Okay.
felt they were losing control.
But it was still the Romans with the hammers and the nails.
Right,
Yeah.
but the priests gave Jesus
Okay,
to the
let's
Romans.
put it this way. If people said that the Jews betrayed Jesus, I'd be okay with it. But they say he killed Jesus, and no, they fucking didn't.
And then, there's the other one.
No. Well, the thing is that Pontius Pilate, the governor at the time, was going to let Jesus go.
So the story goes.
So the story
Yes,
goes, and
But yes or no, were the Romans the ones actually committing the murder here?
well, yes.
Well, there you go. That's why I say that, if the
Yeah,
Jews,
I know what you're saying.
And this is another. This is one of the
then
reasons.
let's not nitpick.
This is one of the reasons I'm not all that sure that I buy the charge was blasphemy story, because my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, please, I don't want to remain wrong, was that the Romans did not necessarily involve themselves in the day-to-day affairs of the Sanhedrin, and blasphemy would be a ecumenical charge, or not ecumenical, ecclesiastical charge, rather than a civil charge. So the Romans would be tempted to say, well, we're not going to worry about this. So there's what I'm thinking is that this guy, if he existed, and it's reasonably likely, might have been fomenting insurrection. And they said, okay, we've got to take care of this. We've got to get rid of the insurrectionist.
I still want to know why there needed to be a death to forgive original sin.
Oh,
I've heard explanations. None of them make a lick of sense.
Well, that's
I'm
the
like,
whole...
if you are the most powerful being that ever was, I'm thinking you could give people a pass just by your will. That a blood sacrifice completely not necessary. And sure, a lot of people say, well, you had to have a balance, this, that, or the other thing. I'm thinking a magical sky fairy could go poof. Now there's balance without having to kill anybody.
Well, there's the thing, is I'm thinking that there wasn't necessarily a magical sky fairy at the time the Yom Kippur laws were written, that they had to have the blood magic because there was something else at play here. And then it was just carried forward.
It still seems to me, if there's any kind of supreme being whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure the Jews believed in one, that
they believed in many.
But that level of supernatural ability says to me that you can forgive any goddamn sin you like.
My personal thoughts on it are that it was done to show that even a supreme being would have to sacrifice something for...
Then how supreme are you?
Exactly.
Yeah, that supreme being is not beyond nature. And I,
Right.
I have a feeling that, yeah, this
I'll be right back.
as far as the Jews were concerned, of the time anyway, there was no supreme being. I mean, this is what I suspect. The being was not supreme.
Well, but if you
He,
look at stuff like the Ten Commandments, for example, I mean, at the very least, powers are implied. You know?
well, yeah, I am the Lord thy God that hath brought you out of Egypt, that sort of thing, where the guy admits that there are other gods, that sort of thing.
Well, but I mean, even if there weren't other gods, though, I mean, no, I mean, I look at something like the Greek and Roman pantheon or the Norse pantheon and all of that stuff where gods are not supreme. They have their own little areas of expertise.
Yeah.
You know, and in that situation, I could possibly see a god's powers not extending to forgiveness. But these are people who literally claim their God is all powerful. All powerful.
Well, they also claim that he was a son of a bitch. Because if I remember correctly, they claim he held grudges. That
Well, but
what else is there?
here's the thing. I mean, it almost doesn't matter what most Jews thought at the time, because Jesus, I mean, he may have been a Jew, but he was kind of an alternate Jew, an alterna Jew, if you will.
Oh,
Because
yes,
he was starting his own religion by his standards, by Christian standards.
Right.
You know, that God is supposed to be the triple omni. And so, like, he should be able to forgive original sin without the blood sacrifice, you'd think.
You would think. The other thing, though, is I'm wondering how was he really trying to form or found a new religion, or was he trying to reform Judaism? I mean, when you see those things in there about, I am not here to abolish the law, I am here to fulfill the law. I know it's only a little mention, but I sometimes wonder if what he was trying to. What?
It doesn't matter, though, to the crucifixion, to original sin. I mean, even if he's saying, I'm here to fulfill the law, blah, 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 it's still, he still has his idea of this triple omni God
Yes.
that has the powers. So it doesn't even matter what the minutia is, unless it somehow changes the level of sorceress ability that Captain Beard Fairy has.
Oh my, oh God. Maya's gonna love that one. She loved your alternate Jew already.
Yeah, it's just like none of it makes sense. The Star Trek has a more coherent canon.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Christian Bible is not, I repeat, not a monolithic book. No. It is an anthology. It is very badly assembled anthology. I mean, just look at Genesis, for Christ's sake. How many books were subsumed into the one book
books.
of Genesis?
Genesis put out albums, and then Phil Collins left the band and did his own solo work. But
Right.
sorry, I'll just be over here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Every time I hear someone say Genesis, I mean, because I never read the Bible when I was little. I was not indoctrinated when I was little. And so, as far as I was concerned, there are two Genesises, Genesi, and that is Phil Collins' old band, and the Genesis device from Star Trek II.
There you go. Well, there's.
You know, I didn't know what the word meant. I didn't know the whole origin of the biblical Genesis. I had no idea because I was not indoctrinated with it.
Well, how many Genesises are there? I mean, there's Genesis 1. There's is it Genesis 2 or Genesis 3 where you have the second creation story presented? And then how many stories?
There's 2 creation stories?
Yes. Read carefully. They're very bad. They're very badly interleaved.
You know, Dave Thomas, the comedian, not the Wendy's guy. Apparently, he had some routine on, I think it was SCTV. It was when he was still in Canada, where he was saying first there was nothing and darkness, and then God said, "Let there be light." So there was still nothing, but you could see it.
Yeah, I love it. I dearly, 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 dearly love it. Oh man. Oh,
I love seeing people try to justify the presence of light without a sun.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I suppose if you stretched it, you could get there, but it would be a real stretch.
Yeah.
Um.
The mental gymnastics.
Well, that too. Yeah.
More like mental yoga, really.
Um. We're talking about mental contortion. Contortionist.
Yeah. You
Basi-
have to bend your mind into a tesseract for any of this to make sense.
Oh boy. Oh man. And well, Colleen mentions you forgot one. You forgot the Sega Genesis.
True, but I think I learned of biblical Genesis before the Sega Genesis. There's also some video game out there where Genesis is spelled with a Y instead of an I, and it's got a word before it too, or something. And it's part of a series.
I don't know
I
that.
don't know.
Ex.
And then there's also Terminator Genesis.
Terminator Genesis, which was supposed to have killed the franchise.
Well, the franchise is treading water at best.
Oh my.
No, they said the Terminator franchise was dead with Genesis.
Well, still not the point. Like if they try another Terminator movie, it's probably the end.
And then, well,
I mean, it stinks how they can't let a series be, that they have to squeeze every last cent out of it until it's absolutely terrible, and then they let it die.
Yeah.
They can't just let something be a masterpiece that stands alone.
But what you just said a little while ago, Kate, has got me thinking maybe that's what I should have for dinner. I mean, I do have the mandolin and I do have a deep fryer. Maybe I should make French fries. 'Cause I heard-
Mandolin? What the hell is that?
That's that cutting thing where you slide the
Oh,
food across
that!
the. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people say mandolin,
All right,
some
here-
people say mandolin.
Here's a question for
Yes,
you.
Jim.
Shoestring potato chips, or like the beer chips or whatever they call them, with the French fries. You know, the like you get the big long ones that are really thick versus the kind you get at Mickey
Steak
D's.
fries.
Steak fries, thank you. I don't know why I
You're
was thinking
welcome.
beer
Oh,
fries.
I'm definitely a steak fries person.
Really?
I like
Oh, man.
shoestrings.
I
like
see, the
shoestrings.
problem is that I like the crispy outside. The mealy inside is
Not so
overwhelming
much.
with the
Yeah.
steak fries. There's too
Okay.
much of it.
Because
So-
what I'm looking at, or is what I'm thinking of it anyway, the shoestring fries, you got to be careful with those because it's so easy to overdo them, and it's like,
What?
trying to chew on crisp, burned, whatever it is. And besides, I do like the mealy stuff, and I love the tartar sauce on the steak fries. It's yummy and tasty, as well as the garlic on the peanut butter.
Blanket.
Yeah, I tried that once and it was unremarkable, really.
What, the garlic and peanut butter,
Garlic
or
and
the?
peanut butter. Yeah, I was underwhelmed.
Okay. I think I
we
remember you saying
work
something
on
about
that
that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's amazing that SJ can't even comprehend garlic and peanut butter. It's like, SJ, come on, it's like Thai,
Yeah, I love Thai. Well, no, I take that back. I used to love Thai food. Then for a good long time, I couldn't eat it because it would cause seizures. And I had it again recently, and it was really only okay. Although I have been experimenting with making my own pad Thai, and it's going rather well. It's probably nothing like I'm sure an actual person from Thailand would go, "You're so doing that wrong." But I've managed to take pad Thai sauce and turn it into something tasty.
Well, there's the other one I want to do is I want to screw around with my own udon. Get the sauces right and everything else. I mean, the udon is easy enough.
Yeah, but the noodles are too thick.
I guess I kind of got used to that when my babka would make her own noodles for soup. They were that kind of thick.
I'd rather have maybe pho or
Oh.
yakisoba than I would udon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yakisoba.
now you had mentioned yakisoba at one point, and
Yeah.
I know it was pre-prepared and everything. I gave it a try, and yeah, I like that stuff.
I like
Um,
yakisoba.
It's really good.
Oh,
I do love
yes, I'm
it.
getting purrs in my
Um,
ears.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forget which one of you told me. It might have even been both of yous. But the whole idea of stabbing meat with a
Yeah.
fork before you
Uh-huh.
marinate it.
You told us.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you said it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I did marinate some chicken in both
Mhm.
teriyaki sauce and the pad thai sauce, and boy, did that work. I need to get some more of the char siu sauce so I can
Mhm.
try it with pork.
Yeah, it's what it is it allows the sauces that you're marinating it in to seep deeper into the meat, which is
You're
what
creating
gives you
pores.
yes, exactly.
And then
And it just allows the juice to seep in further.
I'm going to hate
and
myself for this because
percolate.
it's more money than I can justify. But I think I'm just going to have to pick up a piece of brisket this week or next.
Marinate it.
You
Oh,
know, the one time I had brisket, I was underwhelmed, I guess. It was good food, but it was not like this amazing thing that for some reason I'd built up in my head.
you know
And
what you
part of it, like the only reason I ever tried brisket in the first place was because I'd watched a double wide buttload of The Big Bang Theory, and I was like, I want to know what the deal is.
Now, is brisket more expensive than a pork loin?
I think it is, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember how much a pork loin costs
Well, I
per
know
pound.
they can be expensive. I know it costs us $30-$40 for a pork loin out here.
Yeah, but how much does it weigh?
It depends on this. Oh gosh, 10 pounds.
Okay, so you're talking
Football.
maybe around $3 to $4 a pound.
Or $4 a pound generally.
Okay, I'm looking over here at. Oh Lord, get this out of here! These damn pop-up windows, I hate them.
I have
Okay,
to look.
Berkshire pork loin roast boneless,
Ow.
starting at $79.99.
Oh God.
What I'm looking for is the weight. This looks like an 11-pounder. The last time I got a pork loin that large was 2 something a pound. It was on sale. I'm gonna look for brisket.
Has anyone noticed, and maybe it's just where I'm living, but chicken has gotten intensely expensive.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Like fresh chicken. You can buy this big huge bag of pre-cooked white meat for like $8 that can last quite a while. But if you want the fresh stuff, forget about it.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Meat
now,
here is ridiculous prices.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I'm
it doesn't
seeing.
help that the grocery store does not differentiate well enough between regular chicken and like organic chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez,
You
that
know, so
organic
it's like
shit.
you can be in the aisle and you look at the organic chicken and you get like 2 slices of chicken breast for $18 freaking dollars. And I'm like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me? But then I look like right next to it is the actual regular, not fucked with chicken. And it's like the same 2 slices for $4 or $5, maybe.
Okay, this little thing I have up on the screen right now says on average brisket is around $4 to $5 a pound, which is where I thought it was. I just wanted to make sure. So
I
my
must have closed the window because I'm not seeing anything.
so my head has pork loin and brisket in the same neighborhood, basically. Maybe the
But is
brisket's a
anyone
little
weirded
more.
out?
Say again?
Go on.
Yeah, maybe brisket's a little
No, go
more
on.
expensive, but
Is anyone else a little weirded out by the idea of eating pork loin? Maybe it's a bit of the pig that doesn't. I mean, in my head, loin equals genitals. Maybe the pig is not like, yeah, but it's still what comes to mind when someone says pork loin. You know, it's like in if you've ever seen Top Secret, the movie Top Secret, and Val
Mm-hmm.
Kilmer is at a German restaurant and he doesn't really speak the language, and so like he orders what is it, Schweinsfieren is what he says, and it turns out to be flaming hog balls.
Oh my.
There's Schweinsfieren is hog balls.
Oh
And so when
God.
someone says pork loin, my brain goes to flaming hog balls.
No, loin is the leg, not
Oh.
Whoa,
balls.
Does
whoa,
that
whoa,
mean
whoa,
that
whoa,
if
whoa,
I
whoa,
say
wait.
Schweinschwerin in German, they'll give me flaming hog balls?
Yeah.
Let's
Not
see
what I
now.
want. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Delete
It's
that.
S, not a Z.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now
Oh,
according
goodness. Okay.
according to this thing,
Sorry, I'm looking at the Ritz proceeding.
yeah, according to this chart, the loin is right under the back fat and above the spare ribs. I didn't think that was the way it worked, but
Hmm.
So there's another question. I mean, are spare ribs literally spare, like they're not necessary
I looked that up
in some
recently and I
fashion?
cannot remember.
Okay.
Wait a minute now.
4.99 a pound for ribeye steak. God.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's just me, but I feel in many ways that the internet has rendered certain kinds of conversation moot, like
Mm.
maybe even impossible to have. For example, like recently, I listen to a lot of Swedish music, and my favorite band is Swedish, and a lot of stuff they do that's not based on rock set is literally in Swedish. And so there was this sound I kept hearing people making when they were doing Swedish music, and it always sounded like yo yo, like less the toy and more was up in the his house kind of yo yo. And I wanted to know what the hell that meant, and I kind of wanted to
Hmm.
have a conversation about it. And so
Right.
I was gonna like post it on Twitter, this question, but then I realized that someone will just look it up for me on Google and will just give me the answer, and there will be no conversation. And so part of me sort of resents the internet for stifling those kinds of conversations.
Yeah, of course, you do get information rather than speculation. And I just found the article that I found some time ago. The term actually comes from the German Rippenspeer, which literally translates to spear ribs, as this cut was traditionally roasted on a spit or a spear.
Oh, I like that explanation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I liked it when I saw it the first time, and I had to look around to see where it was, and now I found it again. And thank you for
Oh,
reminding me, though. I don't know if I'm going to do it this month or next month. I have to pick up some,
Damn.
I have to pick up some spare ribs because they are wonderful for flavoring stews.
I have to hope that they have pork loin on sale this next week
How is that?
on the 9th because they've got, I can't buy it today, but they've got buy one get one free for pork loin, which is $5.99 a pound. So I could get
it's
Oh man,
always it's
so
always kind of
expensive.
interesting to discover like the foreign language origins of a lot of terms we use that like we take for granted. I mean, you know, it's the whole question that a child usually asks until they find the answer is why there isn't any ham in a hamburger.
yeah,
You know,
Mm,
okay.
and it's like, well,
yeah.
I know why. It's just, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So I
that's
mean, it's interesting to discover sometimes like just terms we use are mispronunciations of foreign terms for the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've got the
Wasn't
hamburger,
him.
and you have the Frankfurter
Hmm.
Wurst.
Hmm.
I mean, if my mind here tells me, and I may have this screwed up, but the hamburger comes from Hamburg, the city, and so does Frankfurter. Um, well, so
Yeah.
does the whole thing about Kennedy's thing. Ich bin ein Berliner. It's like I am a jelly donut.
Yes. Because he said Berliner. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than
Ich bin ein Berliner.
ich stamme von Berlin. You know, would be the way one would say I
yeah.
am from Berlin.
Ich stad in Berlin.
Well, I think he was trying to say that he's a Berlin citizen, though, rather.
Or
That's
would
what
it
he was
be
trying to
Berlin?
say. Yes.
And so, like, Berliner makes sense, kind of the way you might say New Yorker.
Yeah.
The other
that's
way
like,
to say it, I think, would be Ich bin Berliner. You leave off the
Yeah.
article.
Or wir wohnen in der Stadt Berlin.
Moo. Oh man, if I ever
God,
could,
I haven't said that in a long.
I'd love to
I had
go
to
out
learn
there.
it.
I'd love to get
Yeah.
out there at some point, but no, it's
And
not going to happen.
For those who want to know, that was I live in the city of Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love pretending to, like, doing sort of a fakey German accent or pretending I'm saying something German. But whenever I do it, people think I'm trying to sound Swedish.
Gar? Okay.
And I mean, they're
my.
both Germanic languages, but, you know, I'm not doing the chef with the whole yurgy burgy fergie doing. And
The Swedish chef, yeah.
And I know I've gone on like the rants about how I've never met a Swedish person who does the bouncy thing. You know, the "yeah, we come from Sweden." You know, I've never heard a Swede do that ever, ever.
Never.
The one Swede
Yeah,
I do
you
know,
betcha.
the one Swede I do know
That's another one.
doesn't sound anything like that. I mean,
Oh,
it was only
Bo?
the very slightest of accents that
Yeah.
he has, and it was like, wait a minute, he's got an. And I'm thinking of Marty Moore 81.
What about Bo?
Wait a minute, Bo is Danish, I thought.
Which one's Bo?
He's on
Do I know Bo?
Sci-Stroke. Yeah, you've met him a couple of times on movie night.
I have a really, really hard time with names. So
He does. I don't know if I guess maybe he is Danish.
I thought he
Okay.
was from somewhere near
you know-
Copenhagen.
do you know? Well, I don't know what he's
Yeah.
calling himself these days. He went by Wagner for the longest time, but he like changed his name on Facebook. But do you know that guy? Because he is from Denmark, and man, did he have some things to say about the decisions his government has made recently.
I think everybody has something to say about their governments recently.
Well, yes, but things have gotten extra worse, and people are getting more vehement, and blah blah blah. Blah.
So what, were they supposed to have sold Greenland to the U.S.?
You know, it's and I don't know if this is apocryphal or not, but I remember hearing that Greenland and Iceland have their names reversed specifically
Yes.
to try to get
Yes.
people to move to one instead of the other.
I've heard that.
And, you know, I have never actually heard of anyone, like, I don't think I've ever met someone from Greenland. I don't think I've ever seen anyone on television from Greenland. It's like they barely exist as a country.
I think there are 3 people who live in Greenland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so damn
Meanwhile,
cold.
like, I know some people who've vacationed in Reykjavik. So,
Okay, then.
yeah. So, Iceland.
I'd love to get up to Iceland because oh God, what's the name of that crack that goes through the earth? The Mid-Atlantic
Magma.
Ridge. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge passes right through Iceland. And God, I'd love to see that.
Okay, I absolutely will butcher the pronunciation of this, but it seems that the capital of Greenland is called Nuuk. It's like NWK. Like
Yeah, that's actually correct.
NUUK. What?
That's
It's
correct.
pronounced Nuke?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, regardless, I'm looking at it, and yeah, so that's the capital of Greenland. And it says there's about 16,000 people living there. Yeah.
That's kind of amazing, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
one
You
thing.
know, I really wish I could read like the pronunciation guides. Like I wish I had that whole thing memorized where here's how you pronounce an umlaut, here's how you pronounce a schwa, and all that stuff. I don't have that memorized, and it would be handy to have it.
Oh man, I just looked over here and it's amazing, with Iceland, that little tiny postage stamp in the middle of the Atlantic.
Oh.
364,000 people live there.
Where?
Iceland.
Iceland.
It's got to be a little crowded, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bitch.
Right.
No,
See,
that's
the funny thing is
Minnesota.
that- I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that sounds a lot more Midwest than anything else.
Yeah, he doesn't do good accents normally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never.
Yeah, you bitch.
I've never actually heard a Canadian use a lot. Like I might have heard it once from the same person, like
Mm-hmm.
like one person says it once or twice and then never again.
Oh.
I don't hear a lot of people saying a boat very much either. Like it's usually pretty muted when they say it. Like you can only barely tell they've said a boat.
Wait a
About-
minute
What
here.
is that supposed to be about?
Yes.
I'm looking at the
Let me tell
whole.
you about Canada. Let me tell you about Canada.
I'm looking at the
I
whole.
hear a lot of people say a boot, but it sure sounds like a boat when they say
It sounds more like that to me when I hear it. I hear that out of Shannon Q. It's
Yeah.
very muted, but you do hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking over here at the Google thing about Iceland. 8-hour, 5-minute flight from $3,000. From where?
Well, okay, so I was, talking about the capital of Iceland and how it's apparently pronounced nuke. I got this sort of post-apocalypse graphic novel a little while ago called New York. You see?
Okay then.
Yeah.
Let's see
And
what we've got
I
over
mean,
here.
here,
Gotcha.
New York.
Yeah, I just
Right?
brought up the OBS. Okay.
It's actually pretty good, although it gets weird by the end of it. And it really is just one of those things where it's like these people have been living in a post apocalyptic existence for so long that they only have the phonetic pronunciation of New York, which is why it came out the way it did. So,
Okay.
pretty decent, although, like I say, it gets very strange by the end of it.
Well, that's like we're talking about accents. My aunt Eileen,
Does
she's
she
been
come on?
Hmm?
Does she come on?
No.
Okay.
She's from Ireland originally. She's Irish, and you can hear it in everything she says, even though she's been in the States for over 30 years.
Oh, Fiona Robertson's like that.
Yeah, she's like, she's got such a lilt when she speaks. Every word sounds like these.
I have to wonder sometimes because I've mentioned before that I've lost most of my New England accent, such as
Right.
it was after 20 years in Seattle. I have to wonder, like, if I moved to the UK, would I slowly pick up their accent, the rhythm and cadence of their speech?
You
I
might.
don't know, but it
I
does
don't know.
seem like my accent is malleable.
Mhm.
Well,
Well,
they usually are. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
talks about going into Lehighton, but she doesn't call it Lehighton. She calls it Lehighton. It's Lehigh Town to her.
Okay.
It,
Now,
it's just weird.
I am so happy that even after 30 years here, I have not picked up the accent. Were I to pick up the Pittsburgh accent, I would have to kill myself.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
so
I remember them.
annoying.
Oh yeah, you're worse.
I don't
You
know.
gotta
Well,
go wash your clothes.
At least you're not in Boston. in
Oh my!
Boston.
Well, Pittsburgh is halfway to Boston.
Yeah.
Because you go
From where?
from hell, really. No,
Mm-hmm.
you go Dan, then back to the Hass, and it's like
Well, okay,
Back to the
there's
house.
this movie
House.
called Snatch, which is not
Dan,
porn,
back to the house.
and it's got Brad Pitt in it, who is playing like a character from a gypsy tribe or something. They call them pikeys in the movie. I don't know, but he's supposed to have this impenetrable accent that nobody can understand, but it was pretty comprehensible to my ears.
This
So,
movie
I
is
don't
called
know.
what?
So
Snatch.
you
It's by the same guy who made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
you must
SM Smash?
like to
Snatch.
grab or
Okay.
like your
Snatch.
your
Okay.
groin area, your snatch.
okay.
You know,
So
that's what it is.
you must
Oh my
be
God.
from another planet if you were able to decipher the accent. Nobody else can.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It just seems so obvious to me. Like at one point, like these guys go to him to make sort of a shady deal because it's sort of a quite a mob movie, but close. It's a crime movie, and as part of the deal, he like at the end of it, he says, "Hey, you want a dag?" And I was like, I know what he's saying, but everyone else was, what? What's a dag? And I was like, he's asking them, do you want a dog as part of the transaction? You know, and again, you want a dag. And they couldn't understand him, but I was like, what? That's totally obvious. That's completely obvious what he's saying. I don't know. And maybe it's just me. I don't know if other audience members, because I watched it at home, it was streaming. If other people watching the movie couldn't understand him either. But I knew exactly what he was saying with almost every sentence.
I'll have to see if I can find it.
It's not a bad movie, but the problem is that the dude, and I want to say his name is Guy Ritchie, the guy who made it, seems to just keep making the same movie over and over.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you watch Snatch and watch Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, in either order, you're going to be like, okay, it's mostly the same actors. It's really close to the same story. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Different scenes.
Yeah, well, it's like, okay, this time it's boxing, fixing a boxing match rather than fixing a card game.
Right.
You know, it might as well be the same damn movie.
Oh, excuse me.
But it's kind of like for a while there, yeah, you know, you watch Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction next to each other, and it's like, well, okay, you know. So let's see.
Mom, when do you want to start making pizza?
No, not Snatch. That typed in Snatch, you stupid search engine. Like, Hulu has the worst search engine
Yeah.
of all the streaming services. It's just so bad.
On a scale of 1 to Sharknado.
Let's see. That's not
Holy.
Snatch. What
Okay.
the hell with Alan Thicke? No.
Okay. I'm going to head off since I'm being asked about dinner plans.
Oh
I have
my!
to make.
But
Well,
it's
I have to make the pizza dough before.
it's not even 1,500 hours, man.
No, I make the pizza dough and then I put it in the refrigerator so that when I go to, what's the term? Stretch it.
So
it doesn't spring back as much.
it looks like you can watch Snatch on Amazon Prime Video. Although it says
if I
watch
had Amazon
now,
Prime.
it says watch now free with ads, so you might not need Prime to watch it. But
Okay.
still, it's there available on Amazon. So
Okay. Well, I'm going to head off.
Same here.
So I see you guys
Bye.
later. Bye bye. I might
We'll
be
take
back.
it.
I'll check and see if you guys are still streaming when I get back on.
I'm gonna do some of my own things.
at some point, I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what time zone it is, but allegedly today, SJ Thomason and G-Man are going to be ripping into one of my videos, and they invited me to tag along. I don't know what time it
I
starts.
believe.
I seem to remember someone saying 2 p.m., but I don't remember getting a time zone.
Let me look.
So,
I thought
see
it
you
was.
guys.
Well, take care, hon. I thought it was at 4, but I could be very easily very wrong.
Well, and maybe I translated that into my own time zone. I don't know.
That's a
I
possibility right there.
I just know that they said they'll be doing it, and I remember 2 p.m. being a thing.
Uh, let's find out here. S.J. Thomason, G-Man.
Can you
Okay.
search your own Twitter? Like not all of Twitter, just your own?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wait, notifications. Okay, let's. I have 2 Twitter things up here. SJ. Okay.
It'll be on, like, I posted a picture. Oh, gee, like SJ Thomason has taken notice of me, and so if the schedule is anywhere, it'll be there.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Did you found
Here
it?
we maybe. Let me see here, because there's a buttload of notifications all the hell over the place, and I can't tell. Ay. All right. Phew. I don't know. There's like Twitter nests their comments in a weird way, and I can't necessarily tell one from the other, like what's gonna be where.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh my! I'm trying to remember when I first saw the whatever it is, the notification or whatever it is, so I know
Let's
where I'm
see.
going.
I got no idea when this is happening.
Okay,
It's hard to say.
here's the one from you. Well, it appears that S.J. Thomason has taken notice of me.
Yeah. Problem is that there's,
Here
like,
we
a
are. Here we
boatload of
are.
unextended threads.
Okay, you threw it in from her. G-Man and I will review this video and make commentary on Sunday at 4 p.m. EST.
Oh.
So,
Which
about an
means
hour
that
and...
they- Well, I mean, because you said 4 PST, that would be 1 p.m. my time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's maybe about 10 minutes to 3 EST. Because I'm...
Which means I should eat at some point, because I haven't even had breakfast.
Oh no, that's a bad thing. You got to have some prefix.
Yeah,
So they've invited you on the stream?
apparently.
Oh my.
Yeah. So
Yea, though I
one
walk
thing-
into the valley of the
Right.
shadow of death.
So one thing that I've noticed, like, that came up yesterday, is it turns out I am not a muggle, and I can be I can qualify to go to Hogwarts.
Ah. Okay, fine. I like it.
Yeah, I am the witch special guest on Critical Bitches.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I do like
So
your
I
oops. I do like your reply to SJ. It's like, okay, and then you will be blocking me if I say something you disagree with. Ah, my.
yeah, I have to wonder, like this whole idea of like theist blocking commentary of any sort. Most of them have said, oh, well, it's because I can't moderate the comments because there's so many of them on a video. I'm like, why do you need to moderate them?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I want to keep the tone and the language and this, that, and the other thing all pure and G-rated. And it's like, dude, Bitch, you're
No,
on the internet.
they're
Okay,
frightened.
the internet is a free for all where everyone's going to say anything on their mind. They realize they can't be punched in the face for insulting people, and you're going to have to realize and live with that.
Mm.
And they're like, no, I'm just going to close off the comments because I don't want all that crap. And it's like you're making yourself look weak. You're
Yes,
showing
yes,
that
yes.
you will not allow criticism, especially if it doesn't fit your narrative and this, that, and the other thing.
I'm
It doesn't land. They don't hear it. They don't realize that they're cutting their own throats.
when I've been blocked by Ham or by Comfort or a couple other people, it has been right after I've been a nice person, really a nice person in their comments, making points that fly. And to me, it's like, oh, you're afraid of me because I'm making sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. They can't handle like having their arguments destroyed.
mm-hmm.
It's the whole. But now you're challenging my faith thing.
Yeah, and what really gets me is that when they engage in that behavior, they don't see how weak it makes them look.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got to keep that commentary out of the ears of your followers, your message isn't as strong as you think it is.
Yeah, yeah, and of course it's an attack if you are presenting an argument that destroys theirs. If
Mm-hmm.
you're presenting evidence, if you're presenting logic, and it just like drop kicks their argument, they decide that you have attacked them.
Oh my, this is something interesting here. I'm
Mm,
looking at SJ's feed. That's where I found your thing, and she posted something 20th of February. 5 novels that shaped you. Okay, she posted 5 novels. Now you are familiar
yeah,
with what a novel is, right? You know
yeah,
that a novel is a work of fiction, right?
yeah.
The 5 novels she
So
lists are The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Okay, that's fiction. Mere
sure.
mere Christianity. I'm quite sure that what the fuck is his name? He didn't intend that to be fiction. Evidence that
What
demands.
what I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, the thing. I wish I could post it. She's. It's called 5 novels that shaped you. Five
No,
friends who
no, no, no,
loves.
no, no, no. The thing you just listed, the novel or whatever, that he didn't intend it as fiction. What is that?
Oh, who is that? Who is that? I'm gonna have to find it. Um,
Just describe it.
okay,
What is it?
here's. Oh, C.S. Lewis.
What's the
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
what's
That's it.
the
That's it.
premise of the book?
Okay, it's Christian apologetics.
Okay, but is there more to it than that?
No, and I'm sure that C.S. Lewis did not intend that to be fiction, but it's one of S.J. Thomason's 5 novels. Another one is evidence that demands a verdict. I can imagine that McDowell did not intend that to be fiction, but she has it listed as a novel. This
Well, she
is
probably thinks that novel means book.
okay. It's. I mean, she's got a PhD in whatever the hell it is, and I am assuming she had to take a couple courses that involved understanding what fiction was and what nonfiction was. It's
How long ago was this post about the 5 novels?
the 28th of February.
Okay, because I'm looking for it, and my word, does she post a lot?
Mm-hmm. A,
And so I'm having trouble finding it.
well, we're gonna get there. Okay, copy, and we're going to go here.
Oh, here it
And
is. Found it.
you found it.
Found it.
Okay.
So let's see. I mean, I don't know what these other 4 books are, but as near as I can tell, just based on the titles, I think The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the only fiction there.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I
I
know
mean,
that.
I don't know what Embraced by the Light is, but it doesn't. I mean, that could be fiction, but it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, and an unseen realm. I'm not exactly sure. Well, I is gonna find it. It's what it's am I going to
Okay.
do because this is the thing about the internet. You can look things up.
Yeah, I'm reading this, and it sounds like it's about near-death experiences, and it sounds like it's people's actual accounts of what they think were near-death experiences of their own. So that appears to be Embraced by the Light.
Oh,
Let's see
okay.
about let's see what Unseen Realm
Well, I found
is.
this one. Dr. Michael Heiser examines the ancient context of Scripture, explaining how its supernatural worldview can help us grow in our understanding of God. He illuminates intriguing and amazing passages of the Bible that have been hiding in plain sight. So I'm assuming this is nonfiction as well.
I'm seeing here the Unseen Realm. Dr. Michael Heiser explains or examines the ancient context of Scripture, explaining how its supernatural worldview can help us grow in our understanding of God.
Yep.
Now, I mean, granted, he doesn't intend that as fiction. It sounds like fiction,
Sure do.
but I don't think he intended it that way.
Well, okay, as far as I'm concerned, anything involving the Christian God or any God as something that potentially exists is fiction.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what's being described is bullshit, and therefore it's fiction, but the author clearly didn't intend it that way. Let's see. Evidence that demands a verdict. And I do not want pop-ups. Fuck off, Amazon.
Oh, that's Josh
The modern,
McDowell.
let's see. The modern apologetics classic that started it all is now completely revised and updated because the truth of the Bible doesn't change, but critics do. With the original evidence that demands a verdict, best-selling author Josh McDowell gave Christian readers the answers they needed to defend their faith against the harshest skeptics. So clearly not intended as fiction.
Right.
Um, I wonder, did anyone actually tell her that she'd gotten it wrong?
I am going to make an assumption here, and it's an educated guess, that there have been scores of people who have told her you got it wrong, and she's just brushing it off the way she usually does.
Well, I'm seeing on this entry that there are 2 comments on it. So I'm telling her.
Okay, sounds good.
So let's see, novel. Let's get the dictionary definition out here just so I can post that at her. Let's see. Okay. Should I use dictionary.com or Merriam-Webster, I wonder? I'm going to use dictionary.com.
I usually have a look at both because sometimes one is clearer than the other.
Yeah. Let's see.
And I see Eve Kaninen is on her friends list. Oh, God.
So I'm going to actually truncate the definition a little just so I have more because of the stupid character limit. Let's see. Let's see. I can't type. Wait, let's see. There. This is what I'm typing. I haven't sent it yet. But I wrote, those are books, but only The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is actually a novel. Then a link to the dictionary definition, and I put noun, a fictitious prose narrative, ... Put the ellipsis on there at the end. So if she clicks the link, she realizes what I've done. And I wrote, now I think gods are fiction, but the authors of those books don't. So they're technically nonfiction and thus not novels.
Yeah, I mean, the person who tagged her, Rebecca Valerius or whatever it is, did list
Sunnybrook Farm, yes.
novels. I mean, Till We Have Faces, Adam Beatty, I Tree Grows in Brooklyn. These are
merciful Zeus.
I know.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's one of the people that she tagged is Inspiring Philosophy, and I don't know if you've watched his videos.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, my. Well, and of course, there's... excuse me, please. There's Sygart, of course. There's Sygart. I'd like to set him on fire. She tagged Sygart.
And that is?
Oh, he calls himself a scientist. I forget. I think he calls himself a biologist. Wait a minute.
So which one of these people she tagged is that guy?
Okay. Oh, here we are.
I'm seeing Eve Keninen. I'm seeing CSLCHS and more. I'm seeing Brax Hunter. I'm seeing Depths Pentecost, and I'm seeing Inspiring Philosophy. I don't know which one of those is the person you're talking about. No. Oh, you're talking about the original post.
Yes, the original. Yeah.
Okay, no, I was looking at S.J. Thomason. I don't know who the hell Sygart is, but I see his name now.
Yeah, he calls himself a biochemist, PhD biochemistry author. Oh, man, he's anything but a scientist, but that's beside the point.
Well, I mean, how many people who are PhDs in, like, whatever, call themselves doctor this, doctor that, but the thing that they bloviate on, their pontification, has nothing to do with their doctorate.
Oh, right.
But they still say, I'm doctor this, that, or the other thing to lend their asses credibility.
Yeah, I like the one he has in his bio or whatever the hell it is. Former atheist, now Christian. Okay, that's a big red flag right there, kids.
How many accounts of I used to be an atheist sound like the atheists we know?
Right. I mean, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it'd be one thing if you said, well, I was a rationalist. I did not see evidence for this, that, or the other thing. But then fill in the blank convinced me. Here's the data on what convinced me. Here's a description of it. And you can go check it yourself. How many of them did that? Versus the ones who describe themselves as atheists and their atheism had nothing to do with evidence. And a lot of them maybe actually did fit the stereotype of someone who was angry at God or this, that, or the other thing. And their description of their conversion doesn't sound like the kind of thing that would have convinced, say, Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah, oh my word. I just saw this on his timeline. Faith is belief in something for which there is evidence but no proof. Faith is required for belief in most scientific ideas as well as in religious doctrines. Faith is irrelevant for believing proven facts like the existence of cats or mathematical truths. This is Sygart. Oh, Lord, he's an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, first of all, I might dispute his use of proven versus proved, but that's me nitpicking because I hate the way people use proven.
Right, right.
But let's see. Faith is required to believe in most scientific ideas, but faith is irrelevant for believing proven facts, which would be scientific ideas. Mm-hmm. Like if you're going to believe in a scientific idea and you don't have facts that prove it, then yeah, I mean, you're engaging in faith, but you're also not engaging in science.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I love how you'll say, prove the existence of this, that, or the other thing. And they'll say, well, here's like a mathematical proof that doesn't need that kind of evidence. I'm like, yeah, but you just changed the topic.
Yes.
Math and the mind external existence of a deity are not the same. But they'll never address that. I mean, that's the thing, is when you give them counter arguments, they always change the subject instead of dealing with what you just said.
Yeah. I mean, okay, were I to tell him that I've had casual conversations with several astronauts, that a friend of mine is a Hollywood actor, several other things, what would be the first words out of his mouth? I'm guessing that it would be, demonstrate that. But with his God, it doesn't work that way now, does it?
See, now I'm trying to figure out, because he said something here, over 100 atheist replies to my tweet yesterday, all missing the point. It seems the idea that religion claims to explain how the natural world works is deeply ingrained in the modern atheist ideology. Then they dispute this imaginary claim, very dull. But you can point out places where the Bible says the world is like this, the universe is like that. This is how things function. So it's not like this is an atheist ideology. It's we're reacting to you, to what you claim to believe in.
Yeah. And somehow
I mean,
tries to turn it back on us.
How on earth is that a false claim is my question. Okay, someone, Junk Shop Library, liked my reply to SJ. I don't know who Junk Shop Library is, but
he's been by here a couple times. Yeah, good person, definitely.
Let's see. Maybe I'm assuming you said he. I'm assuming he
I'm
might actually be
remembering-
here. Might actually be here right now, and that's how he knew of my tweet. I don't know.
I'm pretty darn sure Junk Shop Library is a male identifying person.
Ugh, you have the power of Christ in your heart, and the love and prayers of your brothers and sisters as your aid. You will
for fuck's
persevere,
sake.
and you will have the final victory. Take courage, the Lord is with you. I left off the first sentence, which is, when evil draws its sword against you, don't despair. But still. I found the post that because it's got the same YouTube link on it. He says, how can a rational scientist also be a Christian? Am I the only one? How about really smart scientists? Can they follow Christ? How many scientists in the past were Christians? Any famous ones? All this and more answered in my most recent video. I may have to respond to that. The problem is now I've got a queue of videos I have to respond to. There's only 2 so far, but still, I saw Ben Shapiro saying something absolutely friggin' ludicrous, and it's
this
about
differs from most of
religion.
what he says. How?
And so, well, yes, but it's about religion specifically, and
okay.
so I feel the need to reply to it. But now I've got that and this Sygart dude.
Yeah, I did reply to this one, the one from the 27th, where he says scientific findings will continue to uncover new mechanisms to explain how the world works, and those new findings and mechanisms will continue to point to God as the creator and sustainer of the universe. I simply asked him, look, how can something continue to point to your God if it never did in the first place? I mean, really? Gods in general are getting pushed further and further into the corner, because we humans are gaining more and more understanding of how things work. We'll never know everything, of course not. But we do.
Oh, I know everything, just not all at once.
Okay. Oh my. Oh, here it is. Yeah. The one he retweeted the reply. Amen. Sigh. So thankful. Yeah. Okay. Holy fucking shit, man. Okay, I'm taking screenshots after screenshots after. Yeah, now you've got me thinking that I want to start responding again, and I know I keep talking about it.
Zeus.
What'd you find this time?
Sorry, no, it's not that I'm pissed off at Twitter. It's like lagging or something in a way that I don't care for.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
And now
noticing.
I don't even know if I'm responding to the right thing anymore. God damn it.
I'm noticing there's a bit of a lag here. Yeah. I think it existed from almost the beginning. I know that I
Well, no,
was.
it's not. It's not that. I think that the thing that I'm doing here, um, the rendering I'm doing has something to do with it. It tends to cause lag.
Okay. Because I was having some trouble even before I invited you and Tina onto the stream. One of the things that happened here was that my desktop decided that it wasn't going to work. I couldn't
Ran.
open any files. I couldn't do anything, whatever it is. So I just ran with it, and it's working all right. But there seemed to be a bit of a lag, which that may have caused. I don't know.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm looking at some things she's posted and it's just so fucking stupid. Okay, she retweeted something from the Babylon Bee that says Bernie Sanders takes quiet moment to seek advice from portraits of his favorite dictators. I'm not sure she knows Babylon Bee is satire. I seriously don't think she knows that it's satire.
probably doesn't. It's just some sentiment that she likes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
And the video she said that she's reviewing is not the video from me that she took the thumbnail from.
Oh, great. Oh man.
Right. She took a thumbnail where I was making fun of somebody who thinks that atheism is empty. And so there's a thought balloon of me, like I'm frowning, and it
Yeah,
says
yeah.
it's so empty, thought balloon. That is from a completely different video, and she's completely misrepresenting. Plus, I had to tell her there's no space between bionic and dance.
That's her middle name. Actually, I think it's her surname. I think her surname is representing, and there are people who think that she's not married, so they call her misrepresenting. Hey,
Ugh.
no, I really don't relish the idea of going on any of her streams or anything like that. She's invited me more than once, and I already know that I'm going to be looking at underhanded tricks, etc., etc. I remember there was one day that she invited Aaron and myself all at the same time, and neither of us was having any of it. I'm trying to remember what the hell the subject was. It was, hey.
Oh, apparently someone I've blocked is a moderator.
Oh, yay.
I don't know who I've blocked. It was probably G-Man.
Oh, scheiße,
Okay.
scheiße, zu viel Scheiße. Wait a minute, I has to find. There's a little something a friend of mine had years ago that I've got to look for again. Google Translate.
Okay, it looks like there's 45 minutes before this shit
You
starts.
want to get some food, don't you?
Which is, I do, but I'm not sure like how much. Because I mean, a bowl of cereal will be really quick.
Mm.
So, yeah.
There we are. Yeah, I'm just doing weird shit here. There it is. English to Czech. Oh, wait a minute.
Život je hovno sendvič s třešněmi nahoře.
It went by a little too quickly. I'll have to pick it up. He translated "life is a shit sandwich with cherries on top" into Czech, and I have the general idea, but I'll have to work at it a couple times here to get it right. Oh, boy, moi.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, so friggin' dishonest, the thumbnail they chose.
Uh-huh, yeah.
So fucking dishonest.
Well, I mean, that's her stock and trade. And I do believe that G-Man is rather like that as well. Can't utter an honest sentence to save their lives.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're seeing this. There's still a bunch of lag, but I'm trying to share the really dishonest thumbnail.
Yeah, that's the one I thought I remembered. Yeah, with the it's also empty and the fuck you. Yeah.
Well, that's both. That's these two fingers.
Oh, you had the two of them. I didn't see enough.
Yeah, you can still see the fingertip of my index finger right behind the other one. So, yeah.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! I don't know.
It's enough to hit desk really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm just not up for engaging her in any discussion, debate, whatever. It's all going to go south because that's who she is. That's what she is. What I may end up doing at some point is just making a couple response videos if I ever get my arse in motion to do it. God damn it. Well, maybe if the temperature starts increasing and we get more sunlight and shit like that, maybe I'll start feeling a little bit better. We'll see what happens. Oh my.
I should probably. I mean, like I said, if I could have a bowl of cereal, or alternately, I could make a real meal. One takes a lot less time than the other.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what's trending right now, and the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 entries are drop out, fill in candidate name.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm seeing drop out Bernie, drop out Amy, drop out Pete, and drop out Warren.
I saw the dropout Bernie and I saw the dropout Warren. The dropout.
Well, me and Pete are both. Amy Klobuchar is such a friggin' tool.
Oh yeah.
Don't
yeah.
get me started.
Oh yeah. And I see no reason for Bernie to drop out. What I'm hoping for is that the South Carolina was a bit of a glitch, and I'll pick up and run with it again. The states that are represented in Super Tuesday do tend toward Bernie, if I remember correctly. How does your hometown? Is California Bernie country, or are we talking Biden here?
Neither actually. It sounds more like Warren.
Okay. Because I remembered that it was pretty much evenly split last time around between Bernie and Hillary.
I don't know what Amiga Nuts means about start. Oh, do you mean start Bionic Dance trending? I'd be okay with that. Yeah, you know what? I should probably go and get a real meal.
Okay, then. Yeah, okay.
So rice takes a really long time to cook, but I don't have anything to season pasta. And so my options are either, I don't know, try to cook the rice now, have a quick bowl of cereal. I don't know. I'm just really hungry.
Okay, if you are really hungry, it might be a good idea to get some food into that body of yours. And
all right. Well, I'll catch you later then. Have fun.
Okay, be good, have fun. Maybe I'll see you in the live stream
HD Thompson.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're on the panel. That's right. So,
Well, I don't know. I told them yes, I'd be on it, but thus far I haven't heard back about any. Like, I haven't heard them say, "Okay, here's what you do," or any of that shit. So,
well, I don't know. Maybe they're listening to what you have to say to make a decision, because it wouldn't surprise me at all that one or both of them were listening to this program.
maybe, I don't know.
And to see what you have to say before it happens. Okay, did you put the YouTube thing? You put the link in. Okay.
I really do have to go. I'm very hungry, so I'll catch you later.
Okay, you be good. Take care.
I just won't get caught.
There we go. There we go. Alrighty, kids. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, let me drop it down to camera 2. There we are. How do you like that? And yeah, it's. I think I'm going to have a look at what's going on in my defriginator. I'm certainly not going to be going to the Squall Mart right now because there's only about 40 minutes to go before the festivities begin. When it's over, maybe I'll go there and I'll look for some food and I'll see what I can have now and stuff like that. And I am going to thank everyone who is here and everyone who is not here. I keep saying it, I keep meaning it. I do this because of you guys. I'm doing this for you. I love every minute of it. It's a really good feeling to put stuff out that you guys are actually willing to put up with, and it makes a girl feel good. And thank you if you decide to keep doing it. If you decide to keep liking it, I'll decide to keep doing it. And sounds good. I'm liking every minute of it. So, I think what I'll do then, just to close things out, is I will say thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.